Timing throw. Elway tipped off. Intercepted. The ball picked off by Lance Smith. He's going to go in, and Buffalo takes the lead.
7 minutes left in regulation. Oh, a touchdown will result. They've done it again. They've done it again.
25 seconds to play in the game. Kelly looks. He's rushed. He gets time. He's in trouble. He throws. Touchdown, Buffalo. Shane Mueller. Are the Buffalo Bills at long last headed for that championship season? Will the completion of Week 8 bring them another step closer to Super Bowl 25?
NBC Sports presents the National Football League. Today, it's the Buffalo Bills versus the New England Patriots.
A cool, overcast October day in Foxborough, Mass. As the Bills and the Patriots are ready to meet for the first time this season. Good afternoon, everyone. Don Criqui with Bob Trumpy. Jim Kelly was asked how many comebacks do the Bills have. He said as many as it takes. We'll see. The Bills come in here not overconfident despite the Patriots' 1-5 record because Buffalo has been beaten 8 of the last 10 times they've come here. And Trump, an old nemesis, is back to lead the Patriots.
Yeah, Steve Grogan, who's been around this league an awful long time and is really beaten up on the Buffalo Bills, is back in the starting lineup. Now, he's been out for a month with a bad neck. You see the collar he wears, but he seems to add a spark to this offense, Don, that no quarterback in a long, long time for the New England Patriots has been able to do. And with this 1-5 football team and the pathetic nature of the Patriots offense, they need Grogan big time.
Bruce Smith is the most talk-about defender in the National Football League. Everybody fears him. And to keep him off Steve Grogan today, the job falls in a very good offensive tackle's hands. Bruce Armstrong, another 78.
Yeah, last spring, the coaching staff here at New England decided they were going to take Armstrong and move him from the right offensive tackle to the left offensive tackle. To design a game like this against Bruce Smith, I think the most dominant down defensive line pass rusher there is in the NFL today.
The manhandler, they call him, and he's ready to go. It is now a very chilly day in New England. You saw the temperature at 54 degrees, but the wind is gusting up to 20 miles an hour. Playing conditions very similar as you look at Rod Russ, the Patriots head coach. Very similar to what the Bills would experience were they home today. It's a very similar field, one of those awful AstroTurf fields that the players hate. Marv Levy, his team off to a 5-1 start. Marv Levy talking about overconfidence. He said, I don't think that's going to be a problem. He said, we learned well from the Jet game the last time out. We blew them out in their place and then had a struggle to come from behind and beat them in ours. And as you see, the Bills have lost 8 of their last 10 in Foxborough. In fact, the Patriots have beaten the Bills 12 of the last 15 times they played. Scott Norwood is ready to kick off now for Buffalo. Sammy Martin and Don Overton are back deep for New England. A short spinning kick coming up on the ball is Don Overton. He's across the 20, breaks it to the outside, and then loses his footing and goes down at the 27-yard line. Baldinger on the play, covering on special teams for Buffalo. As you look at the Patriots' offensive line, it has been a big problem. Armstrong's terrific. The rest are journeymen at best. Grogan at quarterback. Perryman and Stevens, the running backs, have been big disappointments. In fact, there's reports are ready to cut Perryman despite a $500,000 a year contract. The wide receivers who come into Dorian McMurtry and Fryer are Sammy Martin and Cedric Jones. Grogan is really the spiritual leader of this team. In his 16th year, he's challenged this team. They've been maligned. They've been embarrassed. New England could be very tough to beat today. As they go to throw on first down, Grogan in trouble. Arcs the ball out, and Grogan goes down hard. The sack daddy, Leon Seals, got after him.
Cornelius Bennett, 97, was the first guy who got right back in his face. He shoved Danny Villa, the offensive tackle, right into Grogan's chest, and he had no chance to follow through on the pass play. Very bad start.
The front seven of the Buffalo Bills, Seals right in the All-Pro Bruce Smith. A great backing core of Bennett, Conlon, Bentley, and Talley. The inside backers come out on the passing downs, and Chris Hale and James Williams come in as extra DBs to join the regular starters in the secondary. Jackson, Odoms, Smith, and John Hagee, who's injured for the injured Mark Kelso. Second down and 10 now for New England. Opening sequence. Stevens, man, what a stick. Bruce Smith Well, you get an early indication the Bills are going to be tough to beat today.
Well, it would be unusual for the Buffalo Bills to start so quickly, but from behind the defense, you see Smith move inside. He's on the guard. He absolutely throws the left guard Chris Gamble out of the way and makes the stop. That's 2 plays that have looked relatively ugly here for the Patriots to start the game.
There are those who would argue that Bruce Smith is not only the best defender in the National Football League, he might be the best player at this point in the season. Absolutely overwhelming. Totally dominant. 2 and 3 blockers on him every play, and still he dominates. Back to the run, and the Bills stuff it again. So it's 3 downs and out for the Patriot offense. John Stevens runs the ball. Leonard Smith was up to make the hit along with the nose tackle Jeff Wright.
I think that series right there just graphically illustrated the offensive problems of the Patriots. A very poor offensive line. They can get no protection nor any run blocking.
Chris Hale is back deep for the Bills, number 26, their punt returner from Southern California. Ryan Hansen hits the ball into the wind. Could be tough to handle. Hale loses his footing and does the right thing, lets it roll, and it takes a New England bounce down to the 32, and we have, Trump, a penalty marker down at the line of scrimmage.
Holding against the New England Patriots. Also have a Patriot down. That's a 39-yard punt into the wind.
Friendly flag down at the 24.
Tough choice here. I don't know what you do if you're Buffalo.
Holding, 85, kicking team, penalty refused. First down.
Steve Tasker almost blocked that punt.
Player down now for the New England Patriots. One of their men covering on kick returns, number 22, Eric Coleman, a defensive back from Wyoming, and he appears to be pretty seriously hurt.
Patriots are short of defensive backs, too. They can ill afford an injury to that group.
So while Eric Coleman is attended to, there's a break in the action. The Bills set to go on offense when we come back. A short time ago, Eric Coleman was carried off the field. He appeared to sustain a rather serious knee or leg injury, and he's still being attended to on the sideline. And right now, Trump, the Patriots are down to 5 healthy defensive backs. As we look at the Bills' offensive line, it's been a good one. Elliott quarterback Thurman Thomas, who had a scare last week with an injury, ready to go with Jamie Mueller. The extra receivers who come in are Don Smith and Don Beebe, and the Bills are going to show a lot of new formations today, a lot of 4 wide receiver sets. They could be going deep to Beebe. Here's Thurman Thomas. He's fine. As on first down, he slides ahead to the 37-yard line. A gain of almost 5 yards on the play. And ex-Bill Richard Harvey made the tackle. The front 7 for the Patriots. Williams, Goad, and Varus. The linebackers, Vincent Brown, Harvey, Reynolds, and Tippett. Tippett, a 4-time Pro Bowl player. Eric Coleman and Junior Robinson come in as extra defensive backs in the nickel package. Leppett and Hurst are the corners. McSwain and Marion the safeties. The Patriots are tied for the NFL lead with 12 interceptions, tied with Tampa Bay. Thurman Thomas runs hard on second down and a long 6, and he'll be short.
Don, the point to make here at the outset with this New England Patriot defense, this is not a 1-5 defense. This is a quality defense, and I think Buffalo recognizes that this defense gives up yards grudgingly. It is not going to be an easy game against the New England Patriots, but the secret to Buffalo's success today is something they've not done all season, and that's get on the board early. Show New England we're 5-1. We're going to play like it today.
Jim Kelly says the one thing we have done that's encouraging, we haven't been turning the ball over. Tippett came way early.
That's a first down.
Drawn offside. If he wasn't, it'll be a first down, as it was a 3rd and 4 play.
False start, 67 offense. False start.
They call it on the center.
Pro Bowl center, Kent Hall has called for it. Gene Barth, the referee, so Marv Levy sees an early mistake by his Bills, and that sets them back to 3rd and 9.
How do they call this on the center? He's the guy with the ball in his hands.
Move the ball. Andre Tippett was keying off the ball, apparently. So now 3rd down and 9 for Buffalo. Scoreless first quarter. Early in the game, 11:32 to play in the first quarter. Kelly, cool under fire, lofts it downfield, and the ball is caught. Making the play was Andre Reed, the sensational receiver From Kutztown State, an 18-yard one-handed grab for a first down on 3rd and 9.
Maurice Hurst had the coverage. This is the spread formation for the Buffalo Bills. Now Kelly has thrown this ball with the wind, and with the wind the ball tends to sail. But what a catch by Andre Reed. He had 8 last week. I'd take him, and I'd take him first in the AFC if I were picking receivers. Absolutely sensational.
It's a pretty lofty recommendation from a man who is a 4-time Pro Bowler himself, Mr. Bob Trumpy.
25-second clock, operator. Please put 15 seconds back on the time clock. Do not start it until I whine.
Absolutely not, Gene Bart.
We won't do it, Gene.
Just keep the down straight.
I'd take Andre Reed, and I'd take
After review by the replay official, the call stands. Completed catch, first down.
Thank you very much. I'd take Andre Reed and the kid in San Diego, Miller, and build my franchise around those 2 receivers.
Anthony Miller. That was the 30th catch for Andre Reed, who had a phenomenal game last week against the Jets. 8 catches for 116 yards and 2 for touchdowns. So the Bills drive on a spectacular play by Andre Reed. Good for 18, and Kelly's putting it up again with the wind at his back. Open man, he makes the strike to the 40-yard line. Keith McKellar, his tight end, number 84, is the man who hooked in and made the reception. That's his 12th catch of the year.
Here's a young man that the Buffalo Bills are not sure just what they have in McKellar. College basketball player, just beginning to show the real signs of knowing what the game of football is about. This guy is big, strong, rangy, will catch the ball in the crowd. Going to be there for a lot of years.
Bills go to a spread formation on 2nd down and 2. Not what the Patriots are looking for, and they go to the run. And Thurman Thomas loses his footing. The field is wet. It is a very hard field. A lot like Rich Stadium. The players absolutely hate these playing fields.
Yeah, but this is the worst. Rich Stadium has AstroTurf. It's tough when it gets wet. But I don't know if there's a harder surface, including the parking lot of Foxborough Stadium, than this turf right here. It will be replaced after this season.
As we check the 10-minute ticker, Miami, the co-leader in the AFC East with Buffalo, up 7-0 at Indianapolis. And Houston up on the Jets. Now the Bills have 3rd down and 2. A power set. Double tight ends. No score in the first quarter. Boom goes Jamie Miller, and he's ahead for what appears to be first down yardage as the linesman comes in for the spot. Ed Reynolds and Fred Marion were on the stop for New England. 2 of these Patriot defensive backs were teammates of Jim Kelly's at Miami of Florida. The left corner, Ronnie Lepet, and the free safety, Fred Marion.
Number 95, Ed Reynolds, making the stop for the Patriots.
Spot is made, and it's looked from here like he has it by the half the ball, but we'll see. Jamie Mueller coming off his first touchdown reception in a 4-year career, and it was a game winner. It was interesting, Trump. They say he's been catching 200 balls a day thrown by that Jugs gun.
First down.
Because he did not have the good hands, and he made himself into a receiver.
I like Marv Levy's comment. Jamie Mueller caught 200 passes a day in the offseason to catch 1 last week.
And it won a game.
Ball is at the Patriots 38.
They're running behind the right side of the offensive line of the Bills. That's the big side. Davis and Ballard are both 300 plus. The other side is the pulling side of the Buffalo Bills offensive line.
No score. 1st and 10 Buffalo. Bills first possession. Kelly with an out pattern, and there's a reception by Don Beebe. Maybe the fastest Bill, number 82. Before long, they're going to go over the top to Don Beebe heading for the end zone.
Lepet was the man in coverage. Now, Beebe, of course, has not played a lot to this point in the season with the pulled hamstring, but this young man has outstanding speed from Chadron State. Andre Reed from Kutztown State. Not what you would call your football factories, but still producing quality athletes.
I don't think anybody from Chandron State's ever played in the NFL before.
Or ever again, probably.
But a couple good ones from Kutztown. Bruce Harper, a terrific returner for the
14
Jets.
seconds back on the time clock, please. 14 seconds on a 25-second time clock. 14, please.
I don't know. There was a problem with the clock in the Bruins game last night, and Mike Keenan almost went over the glass to the
After further
timekeeper.
review by the replay official, the call stands. First down.
Maybe this is the same timekeeper. That was the Blackhawks Bruins game. Kelly is now 3 for 3.
38 yards. A big reception, the 18-yard one-handed grab by Andre Reed. Now Kelly fires. There's an open man. It's again McKellar, and he's close to a first down. He's ahead for a gain of about 9 yards on the play. It'll be second down and about 1. Defending was Fred Marion. So the Bills with an open passing attack to bring this game underway.
You can see McKellar's on the right-hand side of the screen. 31 is the man in coverage up there. Patriots use a lot of combination coverages, but they're primarily zone. Kelly gets time to throw it, makes another completion. Boy, is this unusual for Buffalo. Scoring on the opening drive of the game, or at least looking like they're going to score on the opening drive of the game.
Second and 1. Thurman Thomas, and there are Patriots there. Shooting into the gap to hit him hard. Short, it would appear, the first down. We'll see where they mark his progress. Middle of the Patriot defense got him. Marion came up for run support from the free safety position. But he got there where the spot is, and it's another first down for the Bills. Interesting, when we talked to Rod Ross yesterday, Trump talking about the Bills come from behind wins. He said one big thing about come from behind wins, you know you can do it. Yeah. These guys believe they can keep on doing it, and why shouldn't they?
Yeah, but every player we talked to from the Bills last night, they don't want to be in this come from behind situation. Bentley said that. Kelly said that. Reed said that.
Blitz. Kelly over the middle. He's got Andre Reed. He's heading inside the 5-yard line and down to the 3. So again, the very quick Andre Reed doing the right thing, moving off on an option read, and he's ahead for a 12-yard gain and a Bills first down. First and goal, Buffalo at the 3-yard line.
They ran the circle route there. Thurman Thomas came out of the right side of the offensive formation. Reed comes out of the left-hand side of the formation. And here's the nose tackle working on Ken Hall. That's Tim Goad. Good pass protection for Jim Kelly. And now watch the crossing route. You'll see Andre Reed and Thurman Thomas both in the same area. 12-yard pickup. First down.
Here's where the yards get tough as the Bills go to the run, and Mueller with both arms on the ball is down close to the 1-yard line. A gain of about 2. Richard Harvey, number 58, the ex-Bill, starting for injured Johnny Rembert, makes the stop.
97 defensively for the Patriots was Sean Smith.
Bills hoped to sneak him through on waivers, but they couldn't do it. Patriots grabbed him, Richard Harvey.
The ball is spotted at the 2.
Ball is inside the 2-yard line. Second and goal. No score. First quarter. 6:22 to play in it. Buffalo challenging over the top. Don Smith, he's in, and Buffalo takes a 6-0 lead.
2-yard line, touchdown.
Don, that's just the second touchdown the Buffalo Bills have scored in the first quarter of this 1990 football season.
This team a lot more focused than the Bills teams we've seen in the past.
Good push here by the offensive line. They get that bow, and then Smith gets airborne. Vincent Brown, 59, actually helps him get in the end zone. Kind of gets him up above everybody, and then he rolls in for a score.
Whatever's fair. Norwood drills the point after, and Buffalo goes on the board first with 6:15 to play in the first quarter. A sustained drive culminating in Don Smith's touchdown plunge.
The Buffalo Bills 7.
NBC Sports coverage of the National Football League is brought to you by Mazda Cars and Trucks. Mazda, it just feels right. By Coors Light, the one that won't slow you down. The Silver Bullet is the right beer now. And by Levi's 505, 506, and 540 jeans.
The weather has just changed here in Foxborough. It's now raining hard. Temperature dropping as the Bills on a sustained drive that took 70 minutes. Don Smith on the payoff end have taken a 7-0 lead. A spinning kickoff by Norwood, again carries short. And again it is Don Overton running it back as the Bills go for the ball. McKellar with a good special teams play after his 2 catches in that opening drive. Mark Pike was also on the play.
First down and 10.
Bills certainly in an unusual position here. Leading in the first quarter. That was a 12-play, 68-yard drive. 7 minutes and 5 seconds. Just what the Bills wanted.
Patriots individual game tickets are now on sale at the advanced sale ticket booth.
This is Don Criqui with Bob Trumpy back at Foxborough, Mass, where the Bills have taken a 7-0 lead. Patriots now at their second possession. Stevens turns the corner, and John Stevens breaks the big gainer for the Patriots out to the 48-yard line. A 19-yard gain and a first down.
Nice block by Irving Fryer down the field. That's the power. 17 power. It'll come to the right. They get Bruce Smith sunk down inside. Good double team block. The tight end rubs off on Bentley 50 or Conlon 58. And then Stevens bounces outside. Leonard Smith there, 46, is going to slow him down a little bit. Ray Bentley 50 makes the tackle. Now watch this block by Irving Fryer on Nate Odom's 37. Adds about 6 or 8 yards to the play.
Patriots have not run the ball well this year. That's been their biggest problem as Grogan looks to throw on first down, stands in and makes the connection to his tight end. And he's out ahead for a gain of 10 yards. Marv Cook comes down with the ball against the strong safety Leonard Smith. 10-yard gain, first down, Patriots. Tell you, Grogan's living dangerously, Trump. He's jading to the last second. These Bills are ready to get him.
Quick setup by Steve Grogan. I think the Patriots' choice against this Buffalo Bills pass rush, go with the quick stuff. The 3- and 5-step drop. So it's going to be hard to get to Steve Grogan if the primary receiver is open. They're going to measure for the first down.
Grogan, who hasn't played in a month, had the second best quarterback rating in the AFC at that time. It still stands at 98.6. 3 touchdowns, just 1 interception before he went out against the Colts with a neck injury.
There's a first down. Look at Steve Grogan coming back. There's been a lot of conversation about Bruce Smith being chopped illegally last week. We're going to highlight here the one play that shows it graphically. You can see that the tight end is not covered by the defensive end. The offensive tackle sets up in a pass protection mode.
Right of your screen.
And the field judge does not call anything. That is clearly an illegal chop. No question about it by Mark Boyer of the New York Jets.
Bruce Smith went after him at halftime in the tunnel. Said if he's going to try to end my career, I'll get him. Here's a handoff to Perryman, and he moves the pile down to the 36-yard line on a first down carry. So the Patriots, playing with some gusto on offense and getting some push from their offensive line, move the ball down the field. Robert Perryman has contributed absolutely nothing to this football team this year. He's been excoriated by the local media, and there's been talk they were going to cut him outright, despite the fact he just signed a new 4-year contract for $500,000 a year.
Yeah, but Don, you know, I don't think you can blame these running backs for the lack of running yardage. I think it starts in the offensive line. They're on their 4th center. I think
they say Perryman hasn't made a block all year, but he made a terrific run there. 2nd and 4, quick in. Post pattern, Irving Fryer coming off the flank, and Grogan, still some pop on his fastball, throws it in high.
This again was a 3-step drop. Now watch the attention that Bruce Smith is getting. Armstrong 78 there, 34. Perriman is there to help. And of course with the 3-step drop, that's very difficult for any defensive lineman to get to the quarterback. This guy does get attention, and as well he should.
In his 6th year, he was the #1 pick in the NFL in '85 out of Virginia Tech. Been to the Pro Bowl the last 3 years. But now he's playing like he's headed for Canton, Ohio someday. The NFL Hall of Fame. Pitch back to Stevens, and he's got room to run again. John Stevens is cut down inside the 20, inside the 30-yard line at the 26. Chris Hale got him, but there's a 12-yard gain.
Last week, John Stevens played sparingly against the Miami Dolphins. He did not practice very much because of a sprained ankle. This week, he practiced the entire week with the team. Excellent blocking up front, and John Stevens, an outstanding cutback blocker. You see, they almost have, that's Bruce Armstrong out on Smith. They almost have an unbalanced line there, Don. They bring over an extra tight end and a wide receiver, and they run the sweep that way.
1st and 10 Patriots. Bills in the lead 7-0. First quarter. Back to the run, and Perryman on a counter comes inside the 25-yard line as a helmet goes flying 10 yards down the field. It was a Patriot helmet. Wright was on the stop along with Shane Conlon. Miami continues to lead 7-0 in Indianapolis. Packers up on the Vikings. Eagles and Cowboys. That's a hate match. Houston up on the Jets 3-0. And New Orleans up on Detroit.
Don, if the Bills defense has a problem, I think it's at the nose tackle position. Jeff
He's
Wright,
undersized.
91, is not really he's not the prototypical nose tackle. He's a good kid and he's very active, but he gets shoved around a lot.
John Stephens running hard on 2nd down and 7, and he's inside the 20-yard line down to the 18. Very strong win, and the Patriots in the first quarter are working into it.
So far, very good drive for Rod Russ and his New England Patriots.
Flags are straight out. Rod Russ says, I still believe on game day, just like I did when I coached in high school, our guys can beat their guys if we do what we're supposed to do. 1-5 start. They really should be 4-2. They had the Dolphins beaten twice. They lost it. Grogan swings it to Perryman. He's inside the 10 and down to the 8-yard line. It's a first down, New England. Cornelius Bennett makes the stop, but 12 yards downfield.
Running back out of the backfield underneath the coverage. Great call. You'll see Perryman swing around there. They released the tight end. Perryman comes underneath it. Looks like Bennett is the closest man in coverage, although that appeared to be total zone. Well-designed offensive play. They're just taking advantage of the deep drop by the defensive backs.
So now the Patriots are challenging on an increasingly colder day. Rain has stopped. Bills lead 7-0. Stephens didn't get much. Still fighting. He's close to the 5-yard line. Gain of just over 2 yards. Leonard Smith was the first up, along with Bruce Smith on the tackle. Leon Seals also on the stop. Clock is running, 50 seconds to go. So you see it down to 45 in the first quarter. Eric Coleman, who was injured early in the game, the defensive back, has a sprained left knee. He will not return to action today. So Coach Rod Rust is down to 5 DBs, and there's Marv Levy, who hired Rod Rust for his first coaching job in pro football with the Montreal Alouettes. Rust was later Levy's defensive coordinator at Kansas City. Stevens stuck and stopped for no gain. Nate Odoms came up on the play, and Bruce Smith was the first hitter.
And Bruce Smith took the inside gap from Armstrong, and he was right there. Quarter is going to expire, but what a play by Bruce Smith.
That'll be the end of the first quarter here at Fox.
That'll do it for the first 15 minutes of play. Now the Patriots go to the other end where they'll have the wind at their back should they need to go to the field goal, as they're down close to try and tie the game.
We look at the last play. It happens to the left. And watch Bruce Smith, 78. Bites between 74 Gamble and Armstrong, 78. There to make the tackle. Boy, that is a man. Fighting against that. This is the 11th play of the drive for the New England Patriots. Consumed 6 minutes and 15 seconds.
And as Rod Rust told us, Trump, we have to run the ball to have a chance, and they've run for 49 yards so far.
Patriots are proud to announce.
So now a big down comes up. 3rd down and goal from the 5-yard line.
4 wides for New England, Don.
John Stephens is the lone running back. Grogan throws. Intercepted by Nate Odoms. What a play. Going to the rookie McMurtry, and Nate Odoms makes a sensational play. And the Bills stop the Patriot challenge.
That's the 6th interception by the Buffalo Bills. A quick slant. 1, 2, 3 steps. Somehow Odoms gets inside this. That is a fine interception. That's the Patriots' 16th turnover so far this year. Bills ball.
To the game today. Extreme conditions, Mobil 1 protects vital engine parts better than any conventional.
Steve Grogan drove him down close, and then that 3rd down throw into the end zone was picked off. We'll watch it again. A truly great play by Nate Odoms.
Grogan looks very upset. It appears that McMurtry stops, but he also throws it behind him, so he can't blame that on the receiver. That's on Steve Grogan.
That's an all-pro play by Odoms. His first interception of the year. Now the Bills go from their 20 on a touchback. And they take it out on some tough yards by Thurman Thomas to the 24-yard line.
Don, so far in this game, Thurman Thomas has slipped all over the place. That's like the 4th time I've seen him slip. Now, he's got his shoes spatted, and you see him slip there. Now, he's going to slip again. See there? He's either got to change shoes or get the tape off the bottom of his shoes, or he's going to slide all over the place.
Thurman Thomas slipping and sliding, peeking and hiding. He's gained 14 yards on 5 tough carries. 2nd down and 5 for the Bills, who lead 7-0 in the second quarter. This time, Thurman Thomas runs hard and gets out to the 27-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd and short. 3rd and about 2. Garen Veras, number 90, and Ed Reynolds, 95, with the tacklers for New England.
This time, Thurman Thomas carries the ball, and he doesn't have any problem. But he has slipped and slipped quite a bit so far in the.
Some great blocking there. Yeah. Richard pulling, blasted a linebacker.
And Wolford too, the offensive left tackle. They pull their left side, and they straight ahead block with their right side.
They're down and just over 2. Kelly takes a look, makes the strike, and it's a 1st down to Andre Reed. See if they mark as forward progress. They do, out to the 33-yard line.
He lost the 1st down, Don.
I don't know if they're going to rule he was thrown back. One linesman came out ahead of the 33 now. Another comes back to the 29.
Yeah, they're going to take the 1st down away from him.
He had it and lost it. Apparently they're ruling he was trying to run, not thrown back.
Yeah, Reed, in an effort to make a big play out of just a 3rd down conversion, loses the 3rd down here. There he's got it. He's at the 34 right there. And in fighting, he goes back to the 29, and that's where they spot it. 4th down.
Is that a good spot?
Yes, I agree. He was still fighting for yardage.
So it's 4th down and less than a yard. And Irving Fryar is back now, awaiting the punt, as Rick Tootin hits it downfield. And Fryar fair catches the ball at the 40-yard line. He has fair caught the ball virtually all season.
Fair catch, Fryar. You're right.
Just a 32-yard punt, but it was into a very strong win, and Grogan, the Patriots, ready to go again. Back at Foxborough, an embarrassment of riches for the Buffalo Bills for the first time this season. They led in the first quarter. We're now in the second. We'll see if they can stand all this prosperity.
Yeah, it's such a good team. They've been outscored 3-1 in the first quarter, but they've outscored their opponents 3-1 in the fourth quarter. So this is a rare opportunity for Buffalo to enjoy a little sigh of relief. They've gotten on the board early.
Now the Bills are pointing, and the official blows the play dead. One Buffalo defender was just standing up.
Yeah, Cornelius Bennett just walked over and put his hand on the tight end.
Grossman, 97 defense. Before the snap, 5-yard penalty for a first down.
We'll watch this again. Cornelius wasn't on the same page with the rest of the team.
To the right of the screen. You see the tight end just rocks, but he's the end man on the line of scrimmage. He can do that. That's Zeke Mowat, 81. He can do that.
That's Zeke Mowat.
81 is. The Zeke Mowat.
So the Patriots got a good play call now. First down and 5. Rain has stopped. Wind still blowing. Temperature dropping. John Stevens turns upfield. Takes on tacklers and goes down at the 48-yard line, and a penalty marker comes in late.
Number 37 made Bonhams defensively.
It was a late hit. It was a short gain. Here's Gene Barth, who says,
We have a 5-yard face mask penalty on number 37 defense. The 5 yards makes it a first
Nate
down.
Odoms, who stopped the touchdown drive with that spectacular end zone interception a short time ago, called for a face mask grab.
Nate's saying he grabbed a hold of the...
He got the face mask.
Yeah, but I don't think it's Nate Odom. I think it's the other guy who makes the tackle. Odom is not wearing gloves, and the guy who grabbed the face mask had a glove on. And see, he's wearing black gloves. The other guy's wearing white gloves, and whoever had the white glove is the guy who grabbed the face mask. Nate's right, but the penalty stands.
And it's a first down for the Patriots. 12:15 to play in the first half. Irving Fryar comes in motion. Now comes back the other way to block as John Stevens runs. Standout play by Leon Seals, number 96. Now, while we have a moment, let's go to NFL Live in New York and Bob Costas. Bob?
Don, with Miami leading at Indianapolis 10-0 in the second quarter. Here's Jack Trudeau, already the second-string quarterback with Jeff George Hurt, scrambling. He's hit by his former teammate Cliff Odom, who used to play for the Colts. And Trudeau takes quite a hit. He has to leave the game. He's replaced by the league's oldest player, 40-year-old Joe Ferguson, is in the game now, quarterbacking the Colts.
Thank you, Bob. A lot of memories for Bills fans with Joe Ferguson. The ageless one. Came into the league in '73. Here's Grogan, who came in 75, throwing downfield, and he's not close. 3 Bills were converging on the ball. So the Patriots, who've not been able to run all season, have been running well today, but their passing game has been off. There's Steve Grogan and the injury report. It's not a happy one, Trump, over the years.
No, he's had 4 knee surgeries. You see all the problems, and of course, as we reported in the pregame show, he signed a letter of acknowledgement that there is a doctor that he saw that says that he has an abnormality in a disc in his neck. Now, I don't think it absolves the New England Patriots of any later claims. Grogan told us yesterday he just wants the ability that if he needs surgery 10 years from now, that it's taken care of to accommodate the situation.
Here's a rush on Grogan. He gets the ball away. A timing throw downfield, and it's not close. The defender right on the receiver. They were going for Robert Perryman. Cornelius Bennett put the rush on Steve Grogan.
That is the first time that the Patriots have tried to go downfield, and it didn't work. Grogan just 2 for 7 so far, 20 yards and 1 interception. And they got to stay with the short stuff, the 3-step drops, or Grogan's going to get hurt again.
Ryan Hansen, who was a Pro Bowl punter for New Orleans back in '84, ready to hit the ball. He could not get into the end zone. A very strong wind at his back. He hits a high punt. Wind takes it down. Chris Hale had the handle and lost it. He called for a fair catch apparently, and it's going to be down at the 10-yard line. So the Bills with a 7-0 lead go on offense when we come back.
NBC Sports coverage of the National Football League is brought to you by Braun Electric Shavers. It is through superior design that superior performance can be achieved. By Xerox, the document company. By Miller Genuine Draft, cold filtered for real draft taste. So get out of the old, get into the cold. And by the employee owners of Avis. We're trying harder than ever.
The Patriots for the 1990 football season.
Bills break the huddle as you see 11-11 to play in the first half. Buffalo leading 7-0. Pitch back. Thurman Thomas cutting back against the Patriot defense. They're tough to run against, but Thurman Thomas takes it out to the 18-yard line for a gain of 8 yards on the carry.
He had no problem running that time. One of the top tacklers. He still has the tape on it. Watch 31, Fred Marion, one of the top tacklers in the league, and is historically either led or been very close to the top tackler for the New England Patriots. These safeties have been busy this year, making a lot of tackles way down the field.
Kelly's been perfect so far, Trump.
6 of 6.
Jamie Mueller breaks ahead on 2nd and 2, and he's all the way out to the 33-yard line. A 13-yard gain, and Mueller, who's on a roll now, he was the winning receiver last week, making that catch in the closing seconds against the Jets. And now he runs the ball for 13 yards, and the Bills are out of the deep end of their side of the field, not to the 33-yard line.
Another one of those big football factories, Benedictine College in Kansas.
Yeah, they say his enthusiasm is almost dangerous. He makes a big plays liable to headbutt you right into unconsciousness. He's one of the strongest Bills. Kelly loses his footing.
Looked to me like he tripped on the offensive lineman's foot.
Brent Williams, is that a sack or?
It goes as a sack, no question about it. Let's see if we can pick up what happens. Yeah, the offensive left guard. That's either Parker or Richer, 51. Trying to get his foot, gets his foot tangled with Kelly, and Kelly goes down. So it's the first sack of the day. Brent Williams.
So the Bills now have it. 2nd down and 19. Downfield throw. Nice connection. It'll be short of the first down by a lot. The ball is out to the 34-yard line. Brings up 3rd down and about 9. 10-yard gain on the play to McKellar.
Now, McKellar's been busy so far. I think that's his 3rd catch so far. I repeat, this kid, they don't know what they got, but they like what they see in McKellar.
Well, Kelly says, Trump, that he's a wide receiver in a tight end's body. He's got wide receiver hands.
Certainly got the right number.
Got that shake, rattle, and roll, 3 tight end formation. Butch roll, Metzlars and McKellar. McKellar's the best receiver. 3rd and 9 for Buffalo. Kelly going for the distance. Oh, Lofton's open. James Lofton inside the 20 and down to the 14-yard line. Kelly gunning the ball 60 yards into the air into the strong gusting wind, and James Lofton had him all beat.
That ball hung up there forever.
What a wind he threw it into.
Lofton had Lepet beat big time. Lofton comes into this game averaging close to 21 yards a catch. Look at that thing. Oh, my Lord, a 52-yard catch and run against the wind. Kelly likes it.
Lofton having a terrific year at age 34, averaging now well over 21 yards a catch this season.
How did he get that wide open?
Nobody asked Lofton as he lost a step. He said, if I have, I don't know where I left it. He's still beating people deep. Now Kelly with time.
Thomas
pops it into the end zone. A little too much on it for a diving Thurman Thomas.
That's Kelly's first miss of the afternoon, Don. He's now 8 for 9. This is a matchup that the Bills have used a lot. You see, Thurman Thomas comes out of the backfield screen left. Ed Reynolds, 95, is the closest man in coverage, and the Patriots are never going to win that matchup. He just really could not get it into Thurman Thomas there, but Thomas, an excellent receiver out of the backfield, and especially against the linebacker.
And James Lofton now averaging almost 23 yards a catch. That was the 17th. There's a handoff, and it goes to Thurman Thomas, who's heading down inside the 5-yard line. And when this game is over and done, you might look back on that 52-yarder into the wind as the game breaker, because the Patriots have a problem coming from behind.
That's an 11-yard pickup by Thurman Thomas. We see the pulling side of the Buffalo Bills. That's Richer, 51, one of the best there is in the business. 69, Wolford, the offensive tackle. And a lot of extra effort by Thurman Thomas. Now 8 carries, 36 yards.
There's been some very big plays in this game. The one-handed catch on a 3rd and 9 on the opening touchdown drive by Andre Reed. Then when the Patriots challenge, a spectacular interception in the end zone by Nate Odom. Stop the challenge. Now the Bills drive on. Kelly with a pitch back. Thurman Thomas is heading in. Touchdown, Buffalo.
That looked like a play from the Nebraska Cornhuskers.
I'll tell you one thing, there's as much cheering for the Bills as there is for the Patriots.
Watch what they do here. This is the Beer offense, Don. They run McKellar's in motion. They fake to the fullback pitch. Rod McSwain, 23, caught inside. Thurman Thomas just legs it out there. Nice play. Nebraska runs that to perfection.
As Kelly told us yesterday, you're going to see some new things today, and there's one of them.
Hey, so just saw Ted Marchibroda there in the hat and the glasses. Nice call. Now, the idea is the quarterback is supposed to get creamed on that play, and nobody hit him.
Extra point by Norwood is right through the middle again. So with 7:04 to play in the first half, Thurman Thomas is in the end zone for the touchdown, his 2nd score of the year. There's the flag-bearing Bills fan. That might be the big kahuna who travels and follows the Bills all over America.
He travels in disguise, does he?
Yes, he does. He's the masked man. They call him the Big Kahuna. Sammy Martin and Don Overton are back deep now for the Bills, or for the Patriots, as the Bills are ready to kick off. Every time the Bills score, it starts to rain again. Very strong wind, and Norwood is kicking off into it. He's made some adjustments in the way he sets up. He's had some problems with his place kicking. Both his extra points were dead center. Here's a high spinning kick that the wind catches. On the run is Don Overton. And he gets out to the 32-yard line.
Don, as we go back to that touchdown play by Thurman Thomas, defensive coaches will tell Rod McSwain, 23, look, hammer Jim Kelly. The touchdown by Thomas is not your responsibility. You make sure that Kelly pays the price for pitching that thing, and they don't run it again, or Kelly says, I'm going to check out of that play the next time. They score, but you got to leave an impression on the quarterback so they don't do that again at you.
Ball at the 31-yard line. First down and 10 Patriots. John Stevens doing a dance and getting ahead for some yards out to the 35-yard line. Jeff Wright and Nate Odoms were on the stop.
Jeff Wright on the tackle.
Now let's check the Xerox 10-minute ticker. Indianapolis goes on the board and trails Miami by 3. Vikings have tied up the Packers at Green Bay. Philadelphia continues to lead Dallas by 7. The Jets on a O'Brien to Al Toon pass have come from behind a lead at Houston. And the Lions have scored at New Orleans to tie the Saints at 7-all. Here in Foxborough, it's a 14-0 game, Buffalo. Second down and 6 for Grogan. He's in trouble, and Grogan goes down hard. Free ball on the field. They're going to rule he was in the grasp.
That was Leon Seals.
Defensively, number 96 was Leon Seals.
This guy's really come on for the Bills.
Yeah, I think Bruce Smith gets so much attention that the other defensive end, Leon Seals, gets a lot of single coverage. He beats Johnson. Damian Johnson goes around, and every time Steve Grogan goes down, I think there's a big holding of the breath by management, by fans.
Certainly by Mrs. Grogan and the family.
As Steve said, though, in talking to his wife, she said to me, make the choice. You know when you can play and what danger you're in.
3rd and 13. Long ball. Grogan's ball hangs, but it's caught. Down at the 41-yard line. Irving Fryer, number 80, comes down with the ball, and the Patriots get a 32-yard gain.
Looks like James Williams is the man in coverage. Fryer, a very gifted athlete, he just runs the streak. And Williams, of course, loses track of the football. Looks like he gets that foot in, that second foot in. See if we can pick it up again. There's 1, 2, most assuredly, it is a catch.
Irving Fryer should be a gifted athlete. He was the #1 player picked in the NFL when he came out of Nebraska. That was his 23rd catch of the year. He's scored 1 touchdown.
25 seconds back on the clock, please. Correction, 15 seconds. 15 seconds back on the 25-second clock.
This seems to be a continuing problem with 15 seconds off the...
You know, my only theory is maybe the timekeeper is sitting out in the rain and wants to get this thing over in a hurry. I'm not sure.
That's a legitimate theory.
Yes.
Patriots, as we mentioned, with their biggest crowd of the year, upwards of 60,000. The Bills lead the National Football League in attendance, averaging over 78,000 a game at home. On first down, here's a screen pass to Perryman. He turns the corner, takes on tacklers, and is cut down at the 32-yard line. He'll be close to a first down.
This is Bob Costas in New York, and here's how the Jets took the lead at the Astrodome in the second quarter, trailing 3-0. Play action fake and a deep drop from Ken O'Brien. He finds Al Toon wide open, then Toon does some nifty running, faking Chris Dishman out, and into the end zone he goes. Right now, though, Houston is driving, and they're deep in Jet territory, but New York has the lead at 7-3.
Thank you, Bob. It's 14-0 here at New England as John Stevens goes to the run, takes it inside the 30 and down to the 28-yard line. Leon Seals was on the stop, but it's a first down for New England.
It certainly looks like New England's choice at running the ball is running at Bruce Smith or right at the nose tackle. That time, Zeke Mowat, 81, a good job trying to get Bruce Smith out of the pursuit. Stevens now 11 carries, 51 yards. And when he runs the ball and runs the ball with the authority he's running today, this is not a bad offense.
Well, they're a lot more confident with Grogan. They have no confidence in Mark Wilson, and off their one-loss record with reason. Perryman comes back on a counter, turning upfield. Shane Conlon got him. Robert Perryman, the carrier. Today's NFL Live headlines: Bud Carson. Bill Walsh says that the Browns need to win or play well against the 49ers today to save Carson's job. Will McDonough reports that Dexter Manley has tested clean over his year-long drug ban. Of course, he's applying for reinstatement to the league. And the Vikings kicker might be indicted for drug trafficking as early as tomorrow. Donald Igwebuike. allegedly involved in a heroin smuggling ring. A very unfortunate story. To be continued. Second down now as the Patriots go to the run. John Stevens turns in, and he's got a first down for New England down to the 16-yard line.
Oh, another big block by Irving Pryor. That's a 9-yard pickup. It goes right. Zeke Mowat in there gets a good block. 81 on Cornelius Bennett.
At the 16.
The Patriots running the ball very, very well here. Watch, 80 comes in and just hammers Leonard Smith. 46 takes him out of the play. Shane Conlon gets an assist. So does Leonard Smith coming back.
Irving Pryor sets in a wide receiver position to the near side. For the run they go, and John Stevens powers his way down to the 11-yard line. Shane Conlon was on the stop, along with Darryl Talley. The NBA premieres on NBC Sports on Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock. The LA Lakers, led by the great Magic Johnson, go to Mr. Robinson's neighborhood to play the Spurs at San Antonio. The season premiere of NBA basketball on NBC Sports next Saturday at 3 p.m. Two minutes left to play now in the first half as Grogan goes to the sideline. The Bills holding a 14-0 lead, but the Patriots again challenging. Don Criqui with Bob Trumpy back at Foxborough, where the Bills continue to pitch a shutout against the New England offense. For the Patriots, who challenged first and goal early, now have it second down and 6. Ooh, a big-time hit. Leonard Smith, the strong safety. Robert Perryman was the hittee as he took the swing pass. Going to bring up third down and about 4.
Perriman does an excellent job of hanging onto this ball. This is a pick play. You can't really see it, but the receiver screens out the defensive back, but Leonard Smith catches Perriman in midair, and it ends up being about, oh, I don't know, maybe a 1.5 gain. 2 yards? Okay.
He was a blue chip acquisition by the Bills. Leonard Smith was a #1 draft choice of the then St. Louis Cardinals. You see he's the Bills' second leading tackler as Grogan looks to throw on third down and 4. It's going to be a New England first down as Cedric Jones makes the catch.
Yes, it is a first down. James Williams was the man in coverage. Grogan had plenty of time there, Don. And Jones runs the delay pattern and then goes outside. And Grogan finds him to keep the drive alive.
Rod Russ wondering about the clock. It's winding down to 43 seconds to play as the Patriots huddle at their leisure. Grogan's run the offense for a lot of years, apparently not concerned. First and goal from the 5. Into the end zone, and he sees nobody open. He throws it away and stops the clock with 30 seconds to play in the first half. George Adams was somewhere in the vicinity of the ball, but he was covered. Grogan threw it away.
Yeah, so is Zeke Mowat, 81, and he has a huge cast on his right hand. I don't think Zeke Mowat can catch a ball from Steve Grogan unless they stick it in his face mask. Look at that cast on his left hand. That's what's kept him out of this of the league play here. I'm not sure he can catch a ball at all. Velcro maybe, but not in his hands.
He's in there to block. And now it's second down and goal for the Patriots, who trail 14-0. They go to a draw. Look at that pop. Shane Conlon shot the gap, made a hit on stick, and the ball is down to the 2-yard line, and the Patriots call a timeout with 25 seconds to play, and a holding call is single against New England. Well, the Patriots have been challenging, but then they misfire when they've got the opportunity.
Holding, 68 offense, 10-yard penalty, replay, second down.
He was a Plan B acquisition from the New York Giants, Damian Johnson.
He's the right guard.
George Adams was another one, number 33 from the Giants, Plan B. He was a former #1 pick in the draft. So Grogan gets some counsel and a drink on the sideline. We'll be back.
Now is the time to reserve the yard line. It'll be second down and goal for
14-0 Buffalo in the lead. New England challenging. You see the timeouts remaining. The Bills with their full complement. The Patriots with 2 after the holding penalty sets them back to their 15-yard line. Second and goal from there. Beautiful defensive play by John Hagee, number 22. Eric Sievers, a tight end, was turning in, and Hagee, who's starting for the injured Mark Kelso, bats the ball down.
Don, again, this ball is underthrown. I think, let's look again here, but I think if Grogan gets this ball out in front of Sievers, he makes the catch. Yeah, see, Sievers has got to come way back for it. That gives Hagee a chance to get back in the play. Of course, Steve Grogan has not been out there in action for a month now, and it's not the same as practice, but Steve has missed a couple of receivers cleanly so far in this first half.
Yes, he has. Now he's got to hit one on third and goal from the 15. Faking, timing throw. Incomplete. He was going to Cedric Jones, and the Bills had it cordoned off again very nicely. 17 seconds left, and the field goal unit comes on to try to salvage some points and get on the board.
Yeah, this is no guarantee against the Buffalo Bills, too.
Chris Hale was the defender, number 26. Jason Starras, right.
Bills have made a living blocking these kicks.
Marv Levy, when we met with him yesterday, said his big concern was the fact we've won these last 3 games, but in all 3 we've been outrushed, and the Bills have been outrushed today by New England. Starofsky pops it,
Kick is good.
and with 12 seconds to go in the first half, the Patriots get on the board. A 14-3 game. New England will kick it off when we come back.
The New England Patriots 3.
12 seconds to go in the first half, and the Patriots finally get on the board with a field goal by Jason Starofsky. The Bills lead the game 14-3, and now Starofsky's ready to kick it off. Former soccer player from the University of Tulsa. Coming up at halftime with Costas, McDonough, and Simpson, scores and highlights, and a report on NFL officiating problems, which seem to be, if not increasing this season, certainly magnified. Now the kickoff by Starofsky is hit downfield to Don Beebe. It goes into the end zone for a touchback. Beebe wisely watched the ball deep in his own end to see if it didn't go out of bounds, where if it did, the Bills would have gotten it down to 35. Kicks in for the touchback. You don't know what Kelly's going to do here, Trump. He aired one out into this wind earlier, and it was one of the biggest plays of the game.
Well, this one you just take a knee going in halftime leading 14-3, something that has been very unusual for the Buffalo Bills through first part of this season. So take no chances here. Performance through the first 2 quarters here.
Coach Marv Levy looking for a 6-1 start. Bills have a tough one next week. They've not been on the road in 4 games now. They'll be going to Cleveland next week, and the Bills are going to take their winnings to the locker room. 15-3 halftime lead for the Bills over the Patriots, and as mentioned, the Bills have been beaten here in Foxborough 8 of their last 10 trips. NFL Live is coming up next. So now from Foxborough, we send it to New York to NFL Live and Bob Costas.
All right, Don, thanks very much. Coming up, we're going to take a look at the officiating situation in the National Football League, and we'll get to that in just a moment. But first, we want to take you quickly through the scores of other games. Miami has the lead at Indianapolis by a score of 17-7. Don Shula's team tied with Buffalo atop the AFC East at 5-1. Indianapolis has used 3 quarterbacks in the game. Jack Trudeau started. He was hit by Cliff Odom. He sustained torn ligaments in his right knee. He's out indefinitely. 40-year-old Joe Ferguson, the oldest player in the league, replaced him initially, played only briefly, threw an interception, and then Jeff George, who was out with the abdominal injury since the 3rd week of the season, came in. So he's at the helm right now. Miami with the lead, though, 17-7. Marino has a 4-yard touchdown pass to Jim Jensen. Green Bay at home against Minnesota. Can you believe these? Vikings at 1-5. The Pack with the lead, 10-3. The 3 on a 21-yard field goal by Donald Igwebuike of the Vikings, and some are saying he could be indicted on a drug trafficking charge as early as tomorrow, but for the moment he continues to kick for Minnesota. In the game you're watching, Buffalo with the lead over New England, 14-3. Philadelphia is playing at Dallas. Randall Cunningham, 10 yards to Anthony Toney. Eagles 7-zip in the second quarter. The Jets are at Houston with a 7-3 lead. They haven't won at the Astrodome since 1969. They've only played 4 times there since then, but they've dropped all 4 of those. Jets have the lead on Ken O'Brien's 42-yard touchdown pass to Al Toon. Detroit is at New Orleans. Morton Anderson's 47-yard field goal is the difference at the Superdome. The Saints with the lead at 10-7. Steve Walsh threw a 6-yard touchdown pass to Eric Martin for the Saints. Rodney Peete a 5-yarder to Robert Clark for the Lions. And we come back and take a look at the officiating situation in the NFL right after this.
$14-3, the halftime numbers. Buffalo in the lead over the Patriots at Foxborough. Don Criqui with Bob Trumpy. Trump, I just talked to Bill Polian, the general manager of the Bills. He says this is the best first-half defense we've played all season, and he thinks that Leon Seals is having one of the great games of his career.
Yeah, and then I think if you add on top of that the performance of the offense in the first half, Bills have to be very, very pleased. I mean, they've throughout this season so far not done well, been a very slow starting team, and I think the first big play of the game was done by the defense, the interception by Nate Odoms. This is New England's first scoring drive, and of course again Steve Grogan being off a month, this ball is thrown behind McMurtry, and Nate Odoms makes his first interception of the season, which was outstanding, and that kind of ignited Buffalo.
And then a little while later, Kelly put one up into the wind. Against all odds, it was good for 52 yards to James Lofton, and there wasn't a defender near him.
Ronnie Lepet was the closest man in coverage, and that ball looked like it could have been fair caught. But it goes as a huge play for Buffalo because that was on 3rd down. And they subsequently go in and score. Here's the pitch by Jim Kelly to Thurman Thomas. Rod McSwain, 23, is the man there who cannot make the tackle. And that's Buffalo's first score. First offensive touchdown on their opening drive in 1990. So
that was actually their second. The first was the over-the-top dive by Don Smith.
Yeah, you're right. The numbers to look at there, the one turnover we saw, the Patriots have to be somewhat pleased, even though trailing 14-3. They have been averaging 76 yards rushing per game coming into this game. First half, they've rushed for 75. Well, you can see that Buffalo's played a very, very perfect half. No turnovers, and they've got a fair amount of rushing yards. Kelly's played very well, has not made the big mistake, not made the turnover, so they also have the win to start the third quarter here. A lot of things going in Buffalo's favor.
Kelly with some impressive numbers in the first half. You see 8 of 9 for 123 yards. Here's the kickoff. Squib kick is taken up by an up back. Let's Roll, a tight end, and he's tough with the ball as Roll puts his head down and takes it to the 36-yard line. So Starowski kicks off into the wind. The wind has not abated at all. Now Kelly comes out. He came into the game with an 89 quarterback rating, which is very high, having thrown 62% completions, 10 TDs, and 6 interceptions. He's been sacked 12 times this season. Once today when he actually fell down, but it's credited with a sack. The defense of the Patriots was credited. You see the flag straight out. 14-3 Bills as we open the third quarter from scrimmage. Thurman Thomas out to the 39-yard line on a 1st and 10 play. Bills with...
I think if there is a concern now, it did rain quite a bit here during halftime, and footing is going to be a problem, so you can't really go with the counter steps and things of that nature. You got to stay pretty much straight ahead here if you're the offensive coordinator, Ted Marchibroda. Buffalo Bills, you got to take that into consideration to start this second half.
Bills with a lot of new faces in their offensive line as starters. It's been a very strong unit under Tom Bresnahan, their offensive line coach. Kent Hull at center, Richer and John Davis the guards, Wilford and Ballard the tackles. Here's a throw and a catch for a first down as the ball is gunned out to James Lofton. His second catch of the day for 8 yards. His first was that 52-yarder that set up the second TD.
The pad in coverage. Yeah, the most amazing thing about James Lofton, he has never missed a game as a pro. He runs the slant pass and knows he's going to get hammered. He goes up to get it. And that cornerback is right there to make the contact, but he hangs on and picks up the first down. 2 catches, 60 yards for James Lofton.
This is his 13th year out of Stanford. James Lofton said he was asked if he's lost a step, and he said, I don't know where I left it if I did. Still beating him deep. Handoff goes straight ahead, and Mueller takes it over the midfield line on first down for a gain of about 3. knocked down by Ed Reynolds. The defensive front of the Patriots includes Brent Williams, Tim Goad, and Garen Veras.
Now, the way this Buffalo Bill football team is playing in the first half of this season is something that is not strange to Buffalo. They have been a very quick starting team, and a win today would make them 6-1. They've got some heavy-hitting opponents coming up, but a win on the road helps. A win against a division opponent helps.
Bills keep likening this season to '88 when they went to the AFC Championship game and lost at Cincinnati. Second down throw by Kelly. He was lucky his arm might have been hit as he threw forward. Lofton, the intended receiver, but Vincent Brown was very near to an interception. Number 59 for New England.
Kelly smiling there saying, "Oh, man, I'm glad he didn't intercept that one." I don't know who he was throwing it to. There was nobody close. Lofton was heading down the field. But that ball just slipped totally out of his hand. Wow.
Kelly, a very accurate year. One of the NFL's top paid players, and week after week demonstrating he's worth it. On 3rd and 7, Kelly looks deep, letting it go, and downfield it's close to a connection, with the coverage on James Lofton was good by Rod McSwain, number 23. So Kelly airs it out on 3rd down, and now the punting unit comes out.
Boy, I don't understand that. Even that thing all the way down the field, that was 3rd and about 7 or 8. McKellers has been open a lot, and the choice is to go all the way downfield.
How about the last time he did it? It went for 52. Irving Fryer back to fair catch a punt. He was one of the best, but he tends to fair catch the ball now. High kick downfield. Irving Fryer fair catches another punt.
Whoop.
Not very well at the 12-yard line.
Well, he made a deal with Rod Rust. He said he'd return punts this year, but he's not going to do it next year. He hasn't returned many. He's fair caught most.
So Grogan in the offense, set to go to work in the second half.
NBC Sports coverage of the National Football League is brought to you by Honda, maker of fine quality automobiles. Test drive a Honda at your local dealer today. By State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And by Hertz. We never forget who made us #1. We're Hertz. We're America's wheels.
Back to live action, and the Patriots go to the run. John Stevens, who has a history of running well against the Bills, this time is stopped on a hard tackle on 1st down for no gain. Shane Conlon, 58, was the first man to hit him. Inside backer Cornelius Bennett, Shane Conlon, Ray Bentley, and Darrell Talley backing the line for Buffalo. Jackson and Odoms are the corners. Odoms with a big interception today to stop a drive by New England in the end zone. See Steve Grogan's numbers come.
Not typical Steve Grogan numbers, and the month off is certainly showing.
He told us yesterday we've got to make big plays early. They didn't do that in the first half, and now a sack. Coming off the play is the great Bruce the Manhandler Smith. His 6th sack of the season, but it's his 8th sack of the season. He had 2 last week against the Jets.
He's on Chris Gamble, 74. They move Smith around. He just runs around Gamble. He's almost by Gamble before Gamble gets up, and you can see 74 Gamble's reaction. Steve Grogan can't take many hits, and especially from Bruce Smith.
We're told the Patriots will go to a rookie from LSU, Tommy Hodson, as the backup to Grogan. Bruce Smith, the sacks don't tell the story because it's the constant pressure. He keeps the opposing quarterbacks under. They're always looking at 78. Here he comes again. Downfield throw. Terrific coverage by Buffalo, and Hagee is separated from the ball by his own man as 2 Bills converged on it. James Williams, the rookie #1 draft choice, and John Hagee.
Wait a minute. I'm not sure that's not an interception.
He lost it coming down, I think, Trump.
Yeah, but the ground can't cause a fumble. Oh, it's loose. I thought he dropped it when he hit the ground. Ball was intended for Irving Fryer. Tough throw into the wind.
Now Brian Hansen punts from his end zone into the wind, and he hits a squibber off the side of his foot. It does take a Patriot roll out across the 40. The Bills will now go on offense on the New England side of the field. 1st and 10 at their 43-yard line. A 39-yard punt.
Score updates around the National Football League. Last time Miami.
11:06 to go in the third quarter. The Bills holding to a 14-3 lead on the Patriots, same as it stood at the half. But now after pinning New England in their own end and getting a punt, the Bills are ready to go on offense at the Patriots' 44-yard line, 1st and 10. Kelly having a sharp day in the wind and the rain, looks downfield, and they get Jim Kelly back at the 47-yard line of Buffalo. New England putting the heat on. A very spirited Brent Williams raising his fist in the air. It was Ed Reynolds who got there first, number 95.
Second sack. Watch Kelly. I think the tight end runs the wrong pattern here, Don. Kelly's got nobody to throw it to. That's a coverage sack, but I think the tight end, McKellars, ran the wrong pattern.
Now Kelly has 2nd down and 17 to go. But the Bills 49. Thurman Thomas. He might go, and he's down to the 25-yard line. It's a 1st down for the Bills. So on 2nd and 17, they pitch it back to Thurman Thomas. New England looking for pass, and Thomas rips off a 26-yard gain.
Watch the block by Jamie Mueller, 41. Boom! Just absolutely creams Vincent Brown, and then Thurman Thomas with excellent speed down the sideline, and Rod McSwain, 23, saves the touchdown. Man, that kid is lightning, isn't he? Woo.
He put a move on Fred Marion, lost him. Thomas with 69 yards on just 11 carries now. On 1st down, Jamie Mueller, both arms on the ball, running hard to the 20-yard line. He got 6.
You see, I like that. Ted Marchibroda. Mueller makes a good block for Thomas. He gets the ball the next time.
Defensively, Ed Reynolds.
We'll pay you off. Yeah, you do a good job, you get the ball.
Also in defensively.
Marchibroda, the offensive coordinator. He stays on the field, though, doesn't he?
Yes, he's one of the few. Actually, he's where most of them are, down on the field talking to the quarterback. Jimmy Ray, the Patriots coordinator, is upstairs.
Hand off to Thomas, Nick Nicolau, and Don Lawrence, some of the other Bills offensive coaches in the press box looking down. And now let's check the Hertz 10-minute ticker. Miami continuing to lead the Colts at Indianapolis. Packers up on the Vikings. Philadelphia leading Dallas now in the third quarter at Irving, Texas. Jets, a big underdog, holding to a third quarter lead at Houston. And New Orleans leads the Detroit Lions by 3. Bills up 14-3 and challenging. 3rd down. Kelly fires. Incomplete. He was looking at Andre Reed, the defender. Ronnie Lepet was there to break it up, and the field goal unit comes out. And the Bills will view this, Trump, as a very important field goal because their kicking game has been off. Norwood is only 10 of 16 on field goals this year. The lowest percentage, 62% of his career.
And what's his theory? He's taking a different angle. He's got the ball back from the center 5 inches further or something.
He was 5 inches off on his setup over where he used to be. They watched tape after tape of previous kicks. His extra points have been perfect. He missed one of those last week against the Jets. This is a 34-yard attempt. Norwood drives it right through the middle of the uprights. So Norwood is back on time, and the Bills extend their lead to 17-3 with 8:52 to play in the third quarter. A big relief for Coach Marv Levy, who is a strong proponent of special teams in the kicking game. Back to live action. Norwood kicks off. A high spinner comes to Don Overton, and he runs it back across the 30, breaks into open field for the moment.
Fumble.
And gets to the 36-yard line.
No, they're saying it's down.
Bills think they have it.
They're saying he was down on contact.
Tasker. For 89, Steve Tasker. Give him a striped shirt, a 24-yard return.
Now, this will not be reviewable because they've said
You can
down
lose a
on
finger down there,
contact.
can't you, in the bottom of those piles?
When the official says down on contact, the review official will not look at it. That ball is loose, but it will not be overturned because it's down on contact, not reviewable. So all you Buffalo fans, be upset. But when the guy goes down on contact, it does not go to the replay booth.
Bob Trumpy's got more mileage out of the instant review than any broadcaster in history.
I like it.
You think it's good?
When properly used, absolutely. I still think the Major problem is the control of the game is on the field, and it should be in the replay booth.
1st and 10 Patriots. Stevens looking to run wide. Boy, he's a load. John Stevens, averaging only 3.6 a rush this year, 326 yards coming into the game, having his best day, though. He had almost 1,200 as a rookie in '88.
Stevens with the pickup of 5.
The offensive problems of the New England Patriots, I thought, were stated perfectly by their offensive coordinator. The perception of what we want to do and the reality of what we can do are miles apart, and that is directly related to the offensive line. 6 weeks they've played, 6 weeks they've had a different offensive line every week.
I remember Jimmy Ray when he quarterbacked Michigan State. Notre Dame couldn't stop him.
He could play, couldn't he?
Unbelievable. With great people around him, too. It's great Doherty team.
Oh.
There's a free ball in the backfield.
Still
up
loose.
for grabs, and it might be Kirby Jack. Well, Kirby's not on the picture. The Bills seem to have it, though, and they do at the 31-yard line.
Perriman is the guy who fumbled it, Don.
Ray Bentley looks like the guy, Trump, who gets it.
Actually, that's on Steve Grogan. I don't think you can blame Robert Perriman for that.
Bentley forced it, and we'll see if he can.
That's the 17th turnover for the Patriots so far this season, 2nd today, and it looked like Grogan put that ball in on his shoulder pads. He put that ball way too high.
The children's book author, Ray Bentley.
You're supposed to put it in the breadbasket. Watch where Steve Grogan puts this ball. Way up in the shoulder pads. That's on Grogan.
Now the Bills go 1st and 10, and here goes Thurman Thomas. Shooting the gap and getting down close to the 27-yard line on a 1st down and 10 carry. The Patriots have not scored more than one touchdown in their last 5 games. They've scored no touchdowns today as we have 7:35 to play in the first half. And as mentioned, Bill Polian, the Bills general manager, said in his opinion this is the Bills' best defensive effort of the season.
Well, this is a game that the Bills should have come in here and dominated, and to this point they have.
17-3 Buffalo. Jamie Mueller runs the ball, and a Pro Bowler, Andre Tippett, knocks him down. Mueller in his 4th year, as you mentioned, from Benedictine, averaging over 4 yards a rush. Very strong.
And they got a great combination there. Mueller is a very unselfish player and willing to go in and block anybody they line up across there. And that helps Thurman Thomas to no end.
The full-scale brawl breaking out in one portion of the stands now as the Bills go 3rd down and 3 at the 23-yard line. Kelly from the shotgun stands in, takes a look, drills the ball. A nice connection for a 1st down. Andre Reed sandwiched, but he holds on, and the Bills drive on with a 1st down.
Did you hear that hit? Hurst catches him. That's Tippett 56 in coverage. Too bad we don't have sound on this one. Crunch. But Andre Reed gets up. Product of Kutztown, where they ran the wing tee offense. The winged tee offense.
He was the only receiver. Pitch back now to Thurman Thomas, and he's inside the 15-yard line. 1st down run, good for about 3.
Rod McSwain.
Rod McSwain was the tackler.
Not in this area of the field, Don, for all NFL teams. 1st down yardage inside the 20 is the key to success. If you can get 4 or 5 yards on that 1st down, you've got the defense at a great disadvantage.
The tough territory, Marv Levy calls it. 20 yards in, the red zone. On 2nd down, Kelly stands in against the blitz. End zone throw, and Andre Reed almost has it, just off his fingertips. It'll bring up 3rd down and 8 for Buffalo.
That was Fred Marion in coverage.
Receiving number 83 was Andre Reed.
That blue area around this stadium is concrete, Don. He is still down. See that blue area there? That's concrete. That's a drainage area for the stadium.
Yeah, there's not much room to operate over there.
And he really crashed right into that sideline. making an outstanding effort to catch the ball. Has no control. Wow. Luckily, that wall is padded a little bit. Not a lot, but a little bit. But he's a tough kid.
Tremendous player. And he's won the old-fashioned way. He's earned it. Nobody outworks him. He's like Largent was at Seattle. Kelly now 10 for 15 for 140 yards.
Reed is totally out of control here.
Actually took a sideway dive at the wall.
That's when you'd like to have an airbag, just come out of your shoulder pads. Tasker comes in to take his place. This is unusual.
Lofton goes right. Beebe at the bottom of your screen. You just see his top of his head, or you did. It might be going his way on third down. Oh, quick play.
Didn't work.
Nope. Snap to the up back, Don Smith, and it didn't get anything. So now the field goal unit comes back out for Buffalo. Clock running with 5:10 to play in the third quarter, and the Bills in the lead 17-3.
Tim Goad made the stop there, and that didn't fool anybody.
Bills came in here very focused. As we stayed at the same hotel, as Bill the doorman said, these guys look like winners walking in. Everybody shows up in a suit and tie. Most teams don't have dress codes.
They're the large economy size too, right?
Everybody in their traveling parties with suit and tie. Traveling and going to the game. Norwood spins the field goal up, and it's good again from 35 yards out. So Scott Norwood has his stuff back together, and the Bills open up a 17-point lead.
Patriots 3.
One of the best players in the NFL at wide receiver, Andre Reed, shaken up on the play as he crashed into a retaining wall in the corner of the end zone. Appears to be all right. And the Bills subsequently hit a field goal and now have gone up 20-3 as Sammy Martin and Don Overton are back for the New England Patriots, who've yet to put up a touchdown today. Spinning kick. It's short, though. It'll carry to the 10-yard line. Sammy Martin from LSU runs it back out to the 32-yard line. Mark Pike, a special team standout, was on the play on the tackle for Buffalo. The Lisa Olson New England Patriot controversy continues. Lisa, the Boston writer, who has now been assigned. She was a Patriot writer, now assigned to the Bruins and the Celtics. On the right is Victor Kayem, the owner of the team. Everybody's been involved in that locker room incident. And leading the interrogation, the inquiry, is a Harvard law professor, Philip Heyman. As you pointed out, Trump, some of these question and answer sessions have been lengthy.
They used everything but bamboo shoots underneath the fingernails, too.
Here's a throw. Downfield incomplete. Marv Cook. Jimmy Oldham, the PR man, was grilled for what, 8.5 hours?
9.5 hours.
You got to run out of things to talk about at that point.
Mr. Heyman, the investigator, says that by the end of the month, the whole thing should be settled. If it's possible to settle this.
George Adams is in the game now. Now he comes out, and here's the total offense. The Bills moving substantially ahead of New England. Logan's had problems moving the team. The man who's not played in a month because of a neck injury. He's thrown 5 straight incomplete passes here in the second half. And 6.
Boy,
trying to get it to rookie Greg McMurtry out of Michigan.
And I tell you what, I don't think there's a player in the NFL that I admire more than Steve Grogan for doing what he's doing. I mean, he gets hit here by Bruce Smith. You see the neck collar. We've documented the injuries he's had throughout his career. He had every choice in the world to retire, walk away from it. Told us 3 weeks ago he thought he'd spend the next 3 or 4 or 5 years backing up Tony Eason. He did not expect to be the starting quarterback for the New England Patriots in 1990. And with a lot of reasons to walk away, he chooses not to leave this team in the lurch.
He pointed out all those injuries. He's not played a complete season since 1979. And he's not played half a season since '83. Chris Hale almost had one on his hands. An incomplete pass. Cedric Jones, the intended receiver. Cornelius Bennett, number 97, putting the heat on Grogan, who's missed 12 of 18 throws in this game.
68 yards, 1 interception, sacked twice, almost intercepted, and obviously Steve Grogan has not added the magic to this offense that a lot of people hoped that he would.
Hansen into punt again. Chris Hale is back for the Bills at his 28-yard line. Well hit ball into the wind. Drives Hale back to the 22. And he gets out to the 30 with a couple of good moves, and that's where the Bills will go on offense again. A 47-yard punt and a 9-yard return by Chris Hale. Tim Houck was down to make the play on special teams for the Patriots. Miami, a co-leader with Buffalo in the AFC East, extending its lead over the Colts to 20-7.
First and 10 for Buffalo. At their own 30.
Miami comes to Buffalo December 23rd. Dolphins blasted the Bills 30-7 in Florida. Kelly said that was our wake-up call. We haven't lost since. Thurman Thomas on the run. Breaks wide open for a first down. He's ahead for a gain of 18 yards.
Maurice Hurst defensively.
Unusual that the Buffalo Bills pull right guard and right tackle. Usually it's the other way. They pull left guard and left tackle. But this time it's John Davis at 300-plus pounds.
He's done a job, Big
and
John
Howard
Davis.
Ballard at 300-plus pounds. It's the counter series. Well, that's 625 pounds leading you up there. Thomas now approaching 100 yards rushing.
Ballard's about 340. Howard John Davis is 310. First down and 10. Up the middle on Thurman Thomas. There was some question whether or not he'd be ready to go. He's certainly ready to go. He's come and went here.
Yeah, he's gone over 100 yards.
Defense.
He's gone over 100 yards so far. There it is.
102 yards now, Trump. How many carries?
16.
16.
He had that spectacular performance against the New York Jets in Giant Stadium. And, of course, they were very concerned about him last week with the bruised knee.
An occasional main event breaking out in the stands here. Bills and the Patriots taking it to an extra dimension. Here is a handoff to Thurman Thomas, and he's inside the 45-yard line down to the 44. Tim Goad and Garin Veras on the stop. Dedmar Chabrota says of Thurman Thomas, they credit him with everything, but nobody ever talks about his intelligence. He said, I've never seen a back do more things right all the time than this kid. He came in the first week. He knew our whole offense. He was terrific the day he showed up.
I tell you what, too, if you consider this kid's college career at Oklahoma State, that kid has carried a lot of football.
Drafted in the second round, he says that every team he plays against passed him up in the draft, and that motivates him. Here he goes again, Thurman Thomas. And that Nebraska down the line option pitch back for Jim Kelly, 14 yards.
You got it. That's the one they scored on. Again, it's Mueller on the dive. This worked before. They'll do it again. Kelly pulls it out, pitches it, and Andre Tippett, 56, is sucked in again. You want to make sure you tell that guy on the end of the line, get the quarterback, nail it. That's now 118 yards rushing on 18 carries for Thurman Thomas.
Bills with a more diverse offense today as they move the ball down to the 30. Kelly now, quick look, inside throw, and he's got James Lofton at the 14-yard line. He beats Maurice Hurst, who's one of the NFL's top interceptors with 4. 14-yard gain to Lofton. He's been like an all-pro player again.
Slant again. Hurst back in zone coverage. This was a great job by Kelly. The primary side of the formation was the right side, the far side of the field. He comes off of the right side, comes back to James Lofton.
Fourth all time. He'll soon pass Don Maynard. Thurman Thomas, this will come back. There's markers down as Thomas on first down gains 6. Our producer today for NBC Sports is Tommy Roy. Our director, Brian Sheriff. The executive producer of NBC Sports is Terry O'Neill. We have 48 seconds to go in the third quarter, and the Bills have been command throughout this game. They now lead 20-3.
84 offense. Moving forward at the snap, 5-yard penalty. Replay first down.
Why does he have one white glove on and one red glove on?
First down.
Why not?
15.
No, I asked why first. Then I'll tell you why not.
Making a statement.
And that statement is?
Fashion statement.
I see.
Brings the Bills to first down and 15 from the Patriots 20. Kelly to the end zone. Open man. It's caught for a touchdown. McKellar with a sensational catch. And the Bills extend their lead to 26-3. Kelly's 11th touchdown pass of the season.
That's also his 8th.
This was some catch.
In the last 3 games. Vincent Brown, 59, drops the coverage. What a catch. What a catch. You like that?
Looked just like 84 on the Bengals some years ago. Big Bob Trumpy.
That 84 is always open. That's McKellar's 3rd touchdown catch of the season.
This kid is a very good player. Keith McKellar from McNeese State. It's his 3rd touchdown catch of the year.
You're going to have all kinds of people wearing one white glove and one red glove here.
You asked why he was wearing them? You just, oh, why? One's got fish hooks in it.
Kelly.
Play official. The call stands. Touchdown.
Kelly now 12 of 17, 174 yards and a touchdown, and that's the 8th touchdown pass he has thrown in the last 3 games. Not bad, huh? Well, this is what the Bills were hoping for. Come in here and blow out New England. They've done it.
Extra point by Norwood is up and good. So he's been perfect on all his placement kicks. Kelly and McKellar talk it over. Winners tell jokes, losers say deal. And it's 27-3 Buffalo.
The Patriots use a lot of combination coverage here, Don, and this time the combination didn't work. You see 58 Harvey
Green Bay 10, Minnesota 3.
and 59 Vincent Brown. Somebody drops coverage somewhere. He's open by 10 yards.
And it's Detroit 10, New Orleans 10. That's also.
And the reaction by Jim Kelly, this is what they expected. I think this is the sign of a maturing football team. And whatever the bickering Bills description was early in the season, now it's the
it's a love-in.
Yeah, it's the blow-away Bills.
Including game tickets, lodging, and breakfast. Turn to page 11 of the Eagle magazine today. The Courtyard Hotel added 8 lucky programs feature a special voucher for the Patriots.
23 seconds to play in the third quarter. Next Sunday, the day kicks off on NBC Sports with NFL Live at 12:30 Eastern Time. And then in the first games, New England will play the Eagles at Philadelphia. A big game at Kansas City, the Raiders and the Chiefs. Raiders and Chiefs running 1-2 in the AFC West. At 4 o'clock, Trump, you and I will be at Cleveland Stadium, where 80,000 plus will be rocking as the Bills go against the Browns in a rematch of that playoff game of last January.
And if we're to believe what we hear, Bud Carson may or may not be there as a head coach. I choose not to believe that. The Browns cannot change coaches again.
I choose not to know. He's obviously under the gun, though. Here is Sammy Martin going to run it back. And that is why Steve Tasker has been to the Pro Bowl as a special teams player.
How does he do that? He's in on every tackle on those kickoffs. I don't know how he does that.
He hasn't caught a ball all season. He's listed as a wide receiver, but he's one of the most valuable Bills because of that.
He looks like an acolyte when you see him in the lobby of the hotel. You got to think he's one of the coach's sons.
Acolyte?
Acolyte. The one who lights the candles. Choir boy. Okay?
That's it. Logan, timing throw. And Irving Pryor seems to have it. He's not done. Irving Fryer as Cornelius Bennett ran him down. What's going to be the ruling here? Is it going to come back?
Well, we got one guy. No, he moves. We had one official standing at the 28-yard line, and he's just moved. He's talking to the referee, Gene Barth. That gentleman right there, the line judge, marked the ball down. It's going to come back. No, he picks it up.
He did throw something down.
Yeah, that's the beanbag.
I tell you, that Cornelius Bennett, we can see this again.
Into the third period. Into the third period.
Actually, this may hurt New England because it gives the replay a chance to look at it.
Cornelius Bennett ran him down from way off the play. We'll be back after these messages from your local station.
Gene Barth and his crew conferring this play is under review by Mark Burns. Now watch the left knee of Kirby Jackson, 47. Watch the shoulder pads of Irving Fryer. See the way his knee moves the shoulder pads? That reception is going to come back to like the 28-yard line. It counts as a reception, but he's down there. That's my opinion. You can see the umpire talking to the replay booth. That's why the replay should stay in the game. Now again, you can see, if we look at replay, Fryer gets down. Now watch his right shoulder pad and the left knee of Kirby Jackson. Watch the shoulder pad. See the contact there? Fryer's down at that spot.
After further review by the replay official, it revealed that he was down by contact on the 26-yard line.
Very good call by Trumpy. You had it.
Well, but that's why the replay should stay in the NFL. That's specifically a perfect reason for the replay to stay in.
We're at Foxborough, Mass. On an overcast day, we've had wind throughout and rain at times. Temperature in the 40s with a chill factor below that. The Bills with one of their best performances this season. They look to go 6-1 and stay tied with Miami for first in the AFC East. The Dolphins winning handily at the moment at Indianapolis.
Was selected as today's.
As we check the Xerox 10-minute ticker, you see the Colts trailing the Dolphins by 13 points. Green Bay extending its lead to a commanding 14 points over the Vikings. Philadelphia continues to lead the Cowboys at Dallas by a point. Houston has scored and now leads the Jets 12-7. Houston has one of the best offenses in pro football. They had the 49ers beat at Houston, gave it away in a defensive mistake. And Detroit has rallied now after trailing the Saints. The Lions lead by a 17-10 score. Here in Foxborough, the Bills, who led 14-3 at halftime, have extended that lead in the second half to 27-3 here in the fourth quarter.
Don, that reception was long enough for a first down, but here the quarter really hurt New England. You know, the stoppage of play gives the review booth a chance to look at it from several different angles, and that's pretty much the way the Patriots season has been going.
Grogan's going to start firing deep. Fryer lines up wide left. Here's Grogan taking a look at Irving Fryer. He throws over the middle to George Adams out of the backfield. And Adams is out to the 37-yard line. A gain of 11 yards and a Patriot first down. Carlton Bailey on the stop. Patriots go to Western New York to play the Bills in 3 weeks.
See the little circle route run by George Adams. Bailey there to make the tackle. I believe the Patriots don't have much choice but to go with the underneath stuff. I'm not sure they can pass protect for Grogan to go deep, Don. I think they got to stay with that underneath stuff.
They've played hard-spirited football throughout the Patriots. They're just not as good as Buffalo. Grogan with a lot of time angles a throw, and Cedric Jones takes it and gets down to the Bills' 40-yard line. Shane Conlon all the way downfield to make the tackle. Number 58, a 23-yard gain on the play.
Looked like Hagee was the closest man. This is total zone. You see the linebackers dropping out, Conlon and Bailey. Excellent pattern run by CJ. No, it's Nate Odoms, 37, who just kind of lets Cedric Jones get away from him for a 23-yard pickup. You need a little tighter coverage than that, even though you're leading 27-3.
A lot of time remaining. 13:40 to play in the game. Stevens, big hole. John Stevens running hard, gets down to the 25-yard line. So the Patriots split the Bills defense in a 15-yard gain result.
Now the Bills now going with 5 defensive backs. And you see the offensive line do a good job of influencing here, and Stevens gets right up through that hole. That's called a sucker play. 16 carries, 84 yards. The guard pulled, and the defensive lineman went with him. Running back comes right in underneath that.
Stevens having one of his best days at 1990. This time they go to George Adams, and he's down to about the 22-yard line. A first down carry was good for almost 5. Tomlin again on the tackle for the Bills.
Napa Auto Parts is very proud to sponsor the Patriots this season. Right now you can save $10 with a mail-in rebate on Napa's Best Battery, the Legend.
Game clock running, 12:30 to play. Buffalo in command throughout. Receive. Patriots need 6. Second down coming up. Lights are on. Dark and overcast as John Stevens tries to turn the corner. He's run out of bounds at the 20.
Driven out of bounds.
John Hagee, number 22, and Nate Odoms chased him out.
That was an excellent job of defense by Buffalo, stringing that play out to the sideline. Defensive backs were able to get up the line of scrimmage, gave Stevens no place to run whatsoever.
When Seattle came in here a couple of weeks ago, the coaches of Seattle told us that the tendencies of the Patriots in offense were 3 of 4 plays up to that point in the season involved John Stevens. Rogan 9 for 21 throwing the ball, 119 yards. The 1 interception, very big one. It came on a 3rd and goal play from the 5-yard line by Nate Odom. Home run ball. Nice throw by Grogan. It's a touchdown to England as Sammy Martin, number 82, comes down with the ball.
What a catch.
From
19 yards on the completion. That's Sammy Martin's first catch of the season.
And Grogan's best throw of the day.
That thing looked like it had a homing device on it, didn't it?
Perfect.
James Williams was the man in coverage, and
Sammy takes a lot of ribbing. He's a balding gentleman. A lot of people think he's a father of some of the players.
straight drop back by Steve Grogan. Good pass protection. And watch what this one goes through to get to Sammy Martin's hands. James Williams is there in coverage. First foot down, second foot down. I think it counts, although it's being reviewed. That's Martin's first career receiving touchdown.
And right on cue after another touchdown, another downfall. Raining hard again in Foxborough. That looked good all the way, though, didn't it? If it goes, it's 27-9 with Starowski looking to put up a 10th point for the Patriots.
I don't think we heard Gene Barth, but the play stands as called because they're going with the extra point.
That's good. And the Bills lead now 27-10. Hard rain falling in Foxborough as the Patriots are going to kick it off when we come back.
NBC Sports coverage of the National Football League is brought to you by Mitsubishi, bringing you a full line of award-winning automobiles. See them all at your Mitsubishi Motors dealer. By Liberty Mutual. For your insurance and financial service needs, America believes in Liberty Mutual. And by McDonald's. You know the one. It's McDonald's for food, folks, and fun.
We go to live action now. Here's the kickoff, and running it back is Don Smith. One of the NFL leaders in kickoff returns, but this time special teams are there to sweep him under. And there is an offside call going to come back on this against New England. There's a marker down right at the line of scrimmage. Somebody crossed the 35 before Starowski kicked off. The signal from Gene Barth. So a very fine special teams effort by the Patriots is negated.
Number 50 of the kicking team was offside. We're going to re-kick with a 5-yard penalty.
And the long season goes on for Coach Rod Rust. A 62-year-old rookie as a head coach.
That's Ilya Jurachuk, who was offside.
Ilya Jurachuk, native of the Soviet Union.
Head coach Rod Rust finally happy his team puts offensive points on the board, but the offensive struggle continues for the Patriots. I would imagine this rain is a little colder on Rod Rust's side of the field than it is on Marv Levy's side of the field.
5-yard penalty. The kick will
Kelly is keeping warm on the sidelines, throwing hard.
Starowski will be kicking.
As mentioned at the outset, Rod Rust, who you're looking at, was Marv Levy's defensive coordinator and a couple of great Chuck Cup championship teams in Montreal. Also his defensive coordinator at the Kansas City Chiefs. Don Beebe slammed down hard by Chris Singleton.
Flag thrown, too. You could hear the whistle blow.
Number 54 on the tackle. He turned him upside down, 15 yards.
Show you the shape the Patriot team is in. Singleton's running off with his hands in the air looking for applause and high-fiving his teammates.
Well, they call this on
For a
50.
15-yard penalty against him. It's on Singleton.
Yeah, they call it on 54, but it's 55. This is not Greco-Roman wrestling. When the whistle blows, you must stop.
That'll throw him out of the game.
15 yards and a first down.
Singleton, a #1 draft choice, is potentially an all-pro player.
Well, there are a lot of ways that frustration shows. With a 1-5, soon to be 1-6 football team.
Well, you fine him $5,000 when there's a deliberate attempt to injure and throw him out of the game. It doesn't happen again, at least not by him. Thurman Thomas runs it across the 40 and out to the 43-yard line. Cheap shot by Chris Singleton.
Thomas picks up 6 on the play to the 43.
Singleton's trying to break into the starting lineup here. Somehow he's sitting on the bench as you see Thurman Thomas slip again. The Bills have had good balance today. Before that run, 142 yards rushing, 174 yards passing, 316 total. That rush not included. Good pluses for the Buffalo Bills.
Patriot defense looking to get the ball back now. Bills lead 17 points, 27-10. 10:25 to play. Now, while we have a moment, let's go to New York and Bob Costas. Bob?
All right, Don, here's a big play at the Astrodome. Warren Moon back to throw. He'll be hit by Darrell Davis, which knocks the ball loose. In the ensuing scramble, Davis of the Jets recovers it as well. It turns a 12-7 New York deficit into a 14-12 lead following the extra point. They're early in the fourth. Donald?
Thank you, Bob. The major upset in the offing at the Astrodome, it would appear. The Jets coming off that tough loss at Buffalo last week. Coming right back and playing hard again. Third down and about 2. Kelly looks. Throws, and here's McKellar on the run. He's straight on Hurst. And McKellar's all the way down to the 30-yard line.
Has anybody covered that kid yet today?
I think so. 25-yard gain.
I'd check his unit. Maybe those red and white gloves make him camouflaged out there. This is unbelievable. Here you see McKellar's right there stumbling across the picture. Kelly's got a lot of time. McKellar comes back. Hurst makes the tackle. How can you lose that guy in coverage? We're not talking about one of those squat little bodies. He's 6'5", 245.
The Patriots could, by the end of this season, be in position for the #1 pick in the draft, which they had in '82 and used for Kenneth Sims, a defensive tackle from Texas, no longer with the team. Here was a big hit in the backfield. Brent Williams, number 96, does well for the Patriots. 5-yard loss. We talked to Joe Mendez, their head of college personnel, their head of scouting, and he mentioned 3 names. We talked about who would be the #1 pick. McGuire, Mark McGuire from the Oakland A's younger brother, Dan, who's a quarterback at San Diego State, 6'8", so you know he can see downfield. Todd Light, a cornerback from Notre Dame, and he also is very high on a cornerback from North Carolina State, Oliver.
There's a linebacker with Nebraska, too, named Kroll, who a lot of people like.
Really? Thomas saluting tacklers, and he's down to the 25-yard line. Vincent Brown and Richard Harvey were on the stop. A 9-yard gain on the play.
That's a key run interference for you to all Patriots home games.
Turning point of the game. Do we have one?
Of the season. It happened against the Denver Broncos. A field goal.
On board the train.
The block by Nate Odoms. The ball is picked up by Cornelius Bennett. He outruns 8 Gary Kubiak. And that was the start of 21 points scored in 1 minute and 17 seconds by the Buffalo Bills. Turning point of the season.
Followed by the Leonard Smith interception, followed by the fumble by Elway and the subsequent touchdown. And the next week, same scenario against the Raiders. Into the end zone. Andre Reed is not quite able to get to the ball as he checks that wall.
Same consistency as the other end. Kelly, still a good day. 14 of 20, 208 yards and a touchdown.
No interceptions. Bills haven't turned the ball over, I don't believe.
They have not. They've gotten 2 turnovers.
What Kelly was saying yesterday, that's one good aspect of our offensive play. We haven't been turning it over. But the Bills have come from behind in the fourth quarter to win their last 3 games. Took command of this one early. And now, well, 7:37 to play. Norwood will try a long field goal. This is a 44-yarder.
This is a confidence kick for Scott Norwood. Well, they got their choice.
It's going to be longer now. Unless the Patriots were out. It won't be, the 5 yards won't get them a first down, but it'll be 4th and about less than a yard if it goes against New England.
I got to decide who moves first.
Apparently it's the Patriots.
Defense, interior lineman, encroachment, 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
Offense is going back out on 4th down. Bills are going to go for it.
They think it's enough to get a first down here.
Bills running back coach is Elijah Pitts, Green Bay Packer fame.
Third quarter update.
Still 4th down here.
Buffalo has converted 1 of 3 previous 4th down tries this season.
I would certainly bet that Jamie Mueller gets this ball.
Thanks to our NBC statistician, Bill George. Jamie Mueller getting away, and he didn't get there. Patriots take over, and this is a very fired-up football team. Vincent Brown and Ronnie Lepet combined on the stop.
Well, one of the few bright spots today. Good defensive stand. You see the defensive line there, just nowhere at all for Mueller to run.
Break in the action. Back in a moment. Marv Levy has to be well pleased, not with the last play, but certainly with the effort of his team. The Bills having lost 12 of their last 15 games to the New England Patriots, and having lost 8 of the last 10 here at Foxborough. Buffalo's been in command throughout the day and leads 27-10, 7:26 to play. Rogan's last pass to remember was for a touchdown. He throws and hits another completion for a short gain out to the 26-yard line. Greg McMurtry, an All-American receiver from Michigan, 3rd-round draft choice, makes a sliding catch.
That field is getting awfully slippery. Again, you see the Patriots, their choice go underneath. Not take a lot of time and chances with Steve Grogan. Ball thrown behind him again. Well, the ball kind of goes loose, but the ground can't cause a fumble, so the reception stands for a gain of about 3 yards.
Rogan on 2nd down and 6. Don Stevens has it, but the defense is right there. Leonard Smith comes up to make the play, number 46. Doug Flutie was once a name, as you mentioned, Trump, that was called for from the stands here. Now he's doing his number north of the border.
He plays for the BC Lions, and about this time last year, every fan in this Foxborough Stadium were screaming for Doug Flutie to be the starting quarterback. Well, he didn't work. He was one of 4 quarterbacks who started for the Patriots last year. And Flutie now playing in the CFL.
There's a throw, and running in the open field is George Adams, and he's not done till he crosses the 50. They're going to rule him down at the 48-yard line. 23-yard gain on the play. The clock continues to run with 5:40 to play.
Adams, the circle route again, and we've seen this a lot today. Just throwing it short. Leonard Smith is the man who has the coverage, but a good stiff arm gets George Adams a lot more yards. You see Leonard Smith try to poke that ball away at the end, nullify the game. The Bills now playing a little back on their haunches, you know. And they're not really firing at the New England Patriots here.
An extra wild card team in both conferences this year as Grogan drops the throw and throws it away. Everybody was covering. It was interesting at the outset of this day, if they'd have picked this 6 playoff teams in the NFC, Dallas would have been one of them.
That tells me there's something wrong with the playoff system. They're losing today, so they're out of the playoffs.
Miami taking no prisoners at Indianapolis. The Jets perhaps on the way to a major upset of the Oilers at Houston. Detroit has now rallied and leads New Orleans in New Orleans 20-10.
What has happened in New Orleans? Man.
They looked good when Walsh came in the first day.
Whoops. That's Bruce Smith yelling, he moved.
Defense, number 78, encroachment. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Encroachment, of course, is contact. And this time they have Bruce Smith right on the center. And he makes contact with the center, Paul Fairchild, 5 yards.
This guy's Bruce Smith, the most feared defensive player in the NFL. He surpassed Reggie White, all of them. Lawrence Taylor makes a lot of big plays, but not every down like this guy. John Stevens runs on 2nd down and 5 and is very close to a first down.
Bennett and Conlon that time on the stop. Stevens, I think his best day of the 1990 season so far. That's his 18th carry, and he's got 89 yards rushing. It almost looks like the New England Patriots here are just going to build the psychology of the offense. They're in no real hurry to move the ball here, taking their time, very deliberate.
There's certainly nothing to hurry up about their offense. Even though they're down by 17 points with 4:15 to play. That was on a 3rd and short, and the Patriots get a first down. Leon Seals makes the tackle on John Stevens, who's had the ball a lot today. 93 yards rushing for John Stevens.
I'm surprised.
19 carries.
Yeah, I'm surprised. They're Patriots very, very deliberate here. Almost like we're not going to win this game, but we're going to try to build some confidence in our offense. Okay, they've got 3 timeouts.
Doesn't make any sense.
No, the clock is down to 5 seconds.
Downfield throw and almost picked off by Kirby Jackson. McMurtry, the intended receiver, did a good job. We saw that Jackson had a play on the ball and stripped it from him.
Kirby Jackson.
McMurtry, of course, replacing Hartley Dykes out with the eye surgery to relieve pressure. He was put on the non-football injury list. And Steve Grogan not happy again. What a competitor. Maybe the best competitor this game has seen in a long time at the position of quarterback.
23rd all-time passer from a yardage standpoint. Over 25,000 career, but as mentioned, has not played a complete season in 11 years. Has not played half a season as a starter in 7 years because of injury. Stevens makes the catch down to the 30. 2nd down throw will leave the Patriots about 3 yards short. Now they start to speed up their offense in their wisdom with 3:20 to play, down by 17 points.
Good idea.
Bills led 14-3 at the half. Stenavich at 27-3. Now it's 27-10. There's a first down throw. Nicely done. Zeke Moa, you asked him about that bad hand. He just caught one with it.
Yes, he did.
Listen, here's the announcer's name is catching it. A mixed reaction.
First reception as a New England Patriot. He basically catches it with one hand, his right hand. Patriots take a timeout.
2:54 to play, and we'll come back as Grogan again goes to the sideline.
Score update.
27-10 Buffalo as we have less than 3 minutes to play now in the fourth quarter. Don Criqui with Bob Trumpy at Foxborough. Marv Levy said at the outset, we have nothing to be overconfident about despite a 5-1 record against the Patriots. Very impressive show by Buffalo. Could tell a big story.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Don. And of course, that opening drive when they start the game with a score really set the tone for the rest of the game. Told New England that it was not going to be a cheap trip. We're not going to let you just scare us out of this win, and they've really controlled the game.
Grogan eludes the rush and gets it downfield. It is almost intercepted by Hagee. Intended for Eric Sievers. As the rain falling hard now in Foxborough.
Ray Bentley, defensive coverage.
Ball is tipped by Sievers. That ball's got to be very, very slick.
It'll be second down and 10.
Can't quite make the interception. Grogan now 15 of 30, 179 yards, 1 TD, 1 interception on the day after sitting out for a month.
Grogan has been sacked twice by the Bills, once by Bruce Smith, his 8th of the season.
Ooh.
There's the 3rd sack of the day, and coming up the middle was Carlton Bailey, number 54.
Now, see, the concern of the New England Patriots have to be Grogan seems to be able to take the hit on the game, but with his bad neck and all his injuries, 2 days from now, you don't know if he's going to be ready to play next week. He trips coming back from center, and when he sets up, Bailey's right there for the 3rd sack of the day. And Tommy Hodson is over there on the left, right next to Adams in the jacket. He's standing next to Bobby Greer. He apparently is Grogan's backup, not Mark Wilson.
Defenders are there. It's intercepted. James Williams comes down with the ball. He thinks he's live, but the official says touchback. I know one thing, nobody's going to catch this guy. He's one of the fastest players in the country. College football last year from Fresno State.
Well, certainly desperation. The ball was intended for Sammy Martin. Ends up being a jump ball. Ooh, that's some hang time.
His first NFL interception.
Williams comes down with it. Ruled a touchback. Buffalo takes over at the 20, and the exits are filled with Patriot fans.
One of New England's biggest crowds of the season. A lot of them seem to be Bills fans. Most of the Patriot fans cheering for the Bills. 52,000 showed up. There was more than that sold. Now Buffalo goes to the run. Still running Thurman Thomas, and still running him well as he's out to the 27-yard line.
Rodney Swain making the tackle.
He's up to 127 yards rushing now on 20 carries. Thurman Thomas.
He's back and healthy.
Over 550 yards rushing for the season for Thomas before the halfway point.
Gain 6 yards. It'll be second down and 4. The line.
The Bills ready to put win number 6 of this season in the books against 1 defeat, and getting ready to head to Cleveland for a big 4 o'clock game next Sunday on NBC. 2 minutes to go as Buffalo is huddling at their leisure. Bills ready to run the ball. Perhaps it's second down and 4 coming up. The executive producer of NBC Sports is Terry O'Neill. The coordinating producer of NBC's football is John Faratzis. Today's game produced by Tommy Roy, directed by Brian Sheriff. As the pitch back goes to Thurman Thomas, and he loses the ball at the 36-yard line. Let's see who has it.
Oh, the line judge is down there.
Bills kept it, apparently.
Yeah, the ball bounced right back to Thurman Thomas, and I think Thurman Thomas was the most surprised guy on the field. Mueller again with a huge block, 41 on Vincent Brown. The ball is loose, and somehow Thurman Thomas gets the thing back. It has bounced Buffalo's way today, hasn't it?
First and 10.
Sure did there. Associate Director Al Szymanski, Production Associate Tom Bowman, Technical Manager Ernie DeRosa. Thurman Thomas stretching it out now as they put backup troops in. First down. Jamie Mueller. He ran into that same wall that Andre Reed hit a while ago.
I think it was Garen Barris who stopped Jamie Mueller dead in his tracks.
What a day. There was some concern whether or not he was ready to play, Thurman Thomas, after he banged up a knee last week against the Jets.
Yeah, over 100 yards rushing, and he is so much a part of their offense. Receiver out of the backfield, quick enough to run that counter series that Buffalo has featured since Tom Bresnahan, the offensive line coach, has gotten there. The whole offense is built around him.
I'll tell you one thing about Buffalo. These guys are good. They're good.
Yeah, when your offense functions like it did today and the defense that they have, you're right. They've served notice to the AFC that look out for us, kids.
They get the home field. They're going to Tampa. That's a long way off. They did beat the Raiders, so that they have won the first tiebreaker with the LA Raiders. But still, they're only tied for first in their division as Marv Levy goes over to congratulate or to console his old friend, Rod Rust.
Don, I think psychologically this is another great lift for the Buffalo Bills. The fact that they've come from behind a lot of games concern them, and today they come in and they fire the first shot. They get the ball in the end zone, and they really took New England out of the game in pretty short order.
Buffalonians in force. This may very well be the year of the Bill. We'll be coming back to Foxborough in a moment. With Bob Trumpy, this is Don Criqui back at Foxborough, Mass. with the final score again. The Buffalo Bills 27, the New England Patriots 10. Next Sunday on NBC, it's an NFL doubleheader beginning at 12:30 Eastern Time with NFL Live. Then most of you will see an AFC West showdown between Bo Jackson and the LA Raiders going against the Chiefs at Kansas City, followed by the same Buffalo Bills as they battle the Browns at Cleveland, plus regional action. Tonight, kick off your evening on NBC with the critically acclaimed new series Life Stories, followed by a one-hour special Sunday night with Larry King, and it's Mel Gibson in Lethal Weapon, only on NBC tonight. Now stay tuned for the NFL Live post-game report with Bob Costas. This has been NBC Sports coverage of the National Football League. The Bills the victor over the Patriots 27-10.
And they could play well against the NFC.
You know, Bob, I think the importance of the two games today, it looks now as though it's going to be a two-horse race between Miami and Buffalo, and Indianapolis and New England have backed out of the race. And that's the way it's going to go right down to the wire. I really think so. The Jets are improved, but I think in the AFC East, it's now just those two teams. And it was important because they haven't played well either in Indianapolis or in New England in the past.
You know, it's funny how all that talk of dissension in Buffalo, which may have existed, it's not like somebody made it up, but out the window when they reel off 5 straight victories, some of which they could have lost. You know, without some luck and those fourth quarter comebacks, you would have heard all this talk about dissension, but instead the ball bounced the right way. They get in a groove and it's ancient history.
Well, I think it also helps them that the division's not very good. I mean, you wouldn't say New England's a great team, Indianapolis is a great team, you wouldn't say the Jets are a great team. But Miami's improvement have made it a great race in the AFC so far.
Okay, let's quickly check some of the scores. Philadelphia is losing now at Dallas. They had the lead most of the way. The Cowboys have rallied in the fourth quarter on a pair of touchdowns. Troy Aikman, 29 yards to Jay Novacek. Then Emmitt Smith, a 3-yard scoring run, 14 unanswered points. And the Cowpokes, who might go to 4-4 if they can pull this one out, are in front in the fourth at home, 20-14. Now, here's a good one. The Jets just got a field goal from Pat Leahy under a minute to play. They lengthened their lead over the Oilers to 17-12. But Warren Moon, who has thrown a league-leading 18 touchdown passes, has the ball and a little bit of time to work with as we go to Marv Albert and Paul McGuire at the Astrodome.
Is the middle. The only problem is the Oilers have no timeouts, and you throw in the middle, it takes time.
Starting from the 26. And it is completed, but as Paul mentioned, no timeouts. The clock is running as Jeffries made the catch. You can see 27 seconds left. That picked up 17. We're down to 20 seconds remaining. The Jets with a 17-12 lead. Now Moon going sideline. And now the clock is stopped. Curtis Duncan on a 25-yarder.
Do you know that he throws this ball right through the arms of Travis Curtis? Watch number 49 downfield. There's Duncan, but watch 49. It went right through his hands. Instead of trying to catch the ball, just knock it down. That's what you call threading it. Right through the arms of Travis Curtis.
13 seconds remaining. Houston at the Jet 38. And Moon again with a sideline pass. Did he get out? Yes, he did. Ernest Gibbons stops the clock with 7 seconds left. That picked up 11. Well, the Jets have had a couple of nightmares down the stretch. Last week, they lost with only 19 seconds remaining as Kelly completed the touchdown pass. They're down to 7 seconds, clinging to a 5-point lead.
Two things can happen here. One, Moon can throw a quick out right now to pick up about 8 or 9 yards to get him closer to the end zone, because if he goes to the end zone one time, the game's over.
Houston at the Jet 27. And Moon goes end zone. It is broken up.
Game's over.
Pass intended for Jeffries. The clock showing zeros. Odegaard and Booty on the coverage, and there's the gun. It is all over. This time, the Jets hold on.
All right, our thanks to Marv Albert and Paul McGuire for the call. The Jets pull it out 17-12. They had lost so many games this year where they had the lead in the fourth quarter. It began that way for them at Cincinnati. They've lost 3 games this year that they led at halftime. This one they hold on, and it interrupts a good flow for the Houston Oilers. They had lost their first 2 games, but since then had won 4 out of 5 coming into this one, and the only loss in that stretch was a game in which they had San Francisco down at the Astrodome, and the 49ers came back and beat them in a close game. So Houston came in on a high, and they're upset today at home by the Jets, 17-12. One other final that's just in. New Orleans turned the ball over 8 times at home, and the Lions beat them at the Superdome 27-10. When we come back, we'll have a live interview with Jim Kelly. He and the Bills won today in Foxborough, and we'll get to that as we continue on the postgame show in just a moment. Couple of additional scores for those of you who joined this program midway through after seeing the Buffalo game. Miami won at Indianapolis, as you probably know, 27-7. So Buffalo and the Dolphins are both 6-1. Minnesota is losing at Green Bay 24-3. Actually, the game's being played in Milwaukee at County Stadium. The Vikings are going to be 1-6, and the Packers will be 3-4. And in the game you just saw, Buffalo over New England, 27-10. Let's go to Foxborough now. Jim Kelly is wired up and ready to join us. And Jim, it was the defense in the ground game that did it, unlike last week where you had to throw 4 touchdown passes. Just 1 was good enough today.
What happened was we kept them pretty well off balance. First time we were throwing the ball, Thurman Thomas received a game ball a few minutes ago. And if we just keep them off balance and we mix up the pass with the run, and plus the defense came on and played a super job, we can hang in there and beat some of these teams that we're going to face in the next couple of weeks. Yeah, Thurman Thomas had better than 100 yards today. As we've been noting with Will McDonough and O.J. Simpson, the Dolphins and Bills now have the same record atop the AFC East. But as you're well aware, they beat you head-to-head, so they're perfect in the division, and they have at this point the tiebreaker advantage against you. Well, there's still a lot more games left, and we have a schedule to which, they'll probably play a little bit more home games than we will, but we have to face them one more time. They have to come up to Buffalo, but they're a good team, and we're tied right now, and they got the advantage as far as beating us head-to-head, but like I said, they have to play us one more time. We got about 20 seconds here, Jim. It's amazing how the talk of dissension disappears. When you get some breaks, win in the fourth quarter, get in a groove, and now you've won 5 in a row. Nobody talks about unhappiness on the Bills anymore. No, I think everybody just made those things up last year. but we're happy. We're having some fun. I guess winning shuts everybody up. Well, there's the Jim Kelly bottom line. They just made it up. In any case, he and the Bills are rolling with 5 straight victories, and we're rolling out of here, but we're back right after this.
Okay, we welcome those of you who have watched the Jets defeat Houston today at the Astrodome 17-12. Bob Costas with Will McDonough and O.J. Simpson. And as we remarked earlier, the Jets have squandered some leads late this season, but not today. And in a tough place to play, the Oilers had won 4 out of 5 coming in.
Well, Bruce Kozlett has really done a good job with this team. It's got them, they're playing real hard, and they won on the road. That's tough to do. But the Houston Oilers, boy, when they have to look at the film tomorrow, they're going to be very disappointed. They got inside the Jets' 30-yard line 5 times and only got 12 points.
You know what they're going to ask themselves? They're going to say, how could we let this team come after Warren Moon the way we did? The Jets only had 12 sacks all year coming into this game, and they sacked him 5 times today. So that's the key. That's the difference.
Consider what happened. Drew Hill dropped a wide-open touchdown pass right in his hands. There wasn't anybody within 10 yards of him. They were down at the 1-yard line, and a pitch out hit White in the face mask, bounced away. The Jets recovered. And then Moon fumbled in the end zone after being hit by Darrell Davis, and that turned into the decisive play of the game when Davis recovered it for a touchdown.
But still, they only scored, what, 12 points? And if you looked at that game today, you would have said, after the way Houston's been playing, they're going to go down there and score 30 points. They're going to run over the Jets offensively, and they didn't do it because they couldn't protect them.
All right, let's take a look at some of the other scores. Miami wins at Indianapolis 27-7, taking their record to 6-1 and 5-0, importantly, within the division, the AFC East. Jeff George, Joe Ferguson, and Jack Trudeau all played today. They had to use 3 quarterbacks, and none of them were very effective. Here's Trudeau rolling out. He starts to run, and he's belted by Miami's Cliff Odom. He suffers an injured right knee. He's replaced by 40-year-old Joe Ferguson, the league's oldest player, who's intercepted on his second pass as Trudeau is carted off for some treatment. Now, this came from earlier in the game, before Trudeau was hurt. He fumbles off the snap near the goal line, and it's Cliff Odom who recovered for a Miami touchdown and an early 7-0 lead. Now, here's some good news for Indianapolis about all they got all day. Tony Page fumbles after the catch. Chris Good picks it up, runs 54 yards for a touchdown. At that point, Miami led only 10-7. But Indy's woes continued in the second half. Here's Jeff George, the third quarterback they've used. He's belted by Carl Wilson. Down he goes, out with a bruised left knee. Ferguson had to come back in. For George, it was his first action since the 3rd week of the season when he injured some abdominal muscles. They had to press him into service. Eventually, Ferguson was the guy who wound up finishing the game. He went just 2 of 8 for 19 yards. He had 2 intercepted. Eric Dickerson, who had rushed for better than 100 yards, all 6 times he played against Miami. 2 with the Rams, 4 with the Colts, and his team had won every game against Don Shula's. Today, Dickerson on the losing end and held to 27 yards on 10 carries, and he caught only 2 passes, good for 16 yards as Miami romps 27-7. It was a quietly efficient day for Marino, 21 of 29, 161 yards. He wasn't intercepted. He threw a 4-yard touchdown pass to Jim Jensen late in the first half. Now, elsewhere, at County Stadium in Milwaukee, it's now a final. The Packers send the Vikings reeling to a record of 1-6. Green Bay is 3 up and 4 down, 24-10, the final score, the Pack winning. In the game some of you saw, Buffalo over New England. The final score here is 27-10. Jim Kelly threw 1 touchdown pass. It went to Keith McKellar and it covered 20 yards. Don Smith and Thurman Thomas each ran for touchdowns. Thomas had better than 100 yards on the ground. Buffalo has won 5 in a row to take their record to 6-1, tied for first atop the division. And we continue with more scores and highlights after this.